Can you, one, remember the first time that you had an erection? And two, has any of your parents ever talked to you about your erection?
1 no, 2 no.
Same. I come from, well, I think we all come from a very old-fashioned background. You know, our parents, all of us here, old-fashioned. My dad is my dad is 81 this year. Oh. Do you know what I mean? So he's an old man. He's an old school guy. I never had no pep talk on women, sex, anything like that. I had to learn from my friends. You get me? So I thought when I have my son, it's not going to be like that. We're going to have an open relationship where we can talk about certain things freely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have those conversations with my boy.
Yeah, you weren't talking for me, by the way. My dad had them conversations with me.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, actually, because majority of guys that I know didn't have that conversation, but they also ended up losing their virginities really young. Yeah. Really early and didn't know what they were doing and just got themselves into really bad, dangerous situations.
I had the conversation. I still lost my virginity early. Can't tell me nothing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small insects, welcome to another episode of the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast. Yay!
Why'd you do it like that for, bro?
Yeah, I don't have no idea. This is season 2, episode 119. I am Stavros Boss. And in the room with me this very beautiful night, I have Big Wahala.
What's good, people? At Big Wall on Insta, Big Wall on Twitter.
I also have Mr. Wolf.
What's going on? What's going on? I got a Yoruba proverb for y'all. No matter how tough let me start again. No matter how tough a dog is, it cannot watch over 2 separate houses. Yeah? There's a limit to what any one person can do. Cooperate and collaborate more.
Cooperate and collaborate.
Cooperate.
That's what I do.
It was nice. That was a good proverb.
I feel that proverb.
Yes.
Do we have any objections to it? Because we tend to have
No. I agree with that one. No, yeah, spread yourself, man. Especially you ladies out there. Spread yourself in. So you got your socials.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, man.
There's something actually wrong with you.
You can catch me on Instagram on AKA Mr. Wolf, Twitter AKA _Mr. Wolf. There's a whole load of underscores last week with my girl.
Yeah, lots of underscores. We also have what's his name? Simple Simon.
If you are a person of low reputation and you speak to expound against me and mine, I have one message for you. Suck your mother.
Succinct.
You threw me off there now.
Sorry.
We do not care and we are not afraid of you, so much so that we will go further and tell you to suck your girlfriends too, because we are prepared to burn your houses down. That was a short poem, except from a poem I should say, by the Right Honourable Baby Sham. The original is called Suck Your Mama, and it goes a little something like this.
If a fussy one not like it, your mama can't know Mr. Body, bad man no afraid of. We telling them Mr. Man figure support him gal, cause bad man no itch figure blow up head truck.
If a fussy one not like we, suck your mama, can't know Mr. Body, bad man no afraid of. Me telling them Mr. Man figure suck out them girl, bad man no itch figure blow up head truck. There you go.
Why is it always the mum that has to be disrespected at all times?
Because in back me up, Caribbean culture, your mother is held at great and high esteem.
Yeah.
So it is the ultimate disrespect to tell somebody to suck their mother.
So their mums must just feel the abuse all the time.
Well, your mum
you can't tell somebody to suck their dad for once.
It's retrograde.
Isn't in Caribbean culture being homosexual such a disgusting thing?
Yeah, but that's
so. Then if somebody told you to suck your father, ain't that more disrespectful than telling somebody to suck your mother?
But it's culture, not. That's not the same in terms of generational suckage.
Can I introduce our guest now?
Gaza.
All right. Also in the room with us this very night, we have a very special guest, somebody I've been impressed with on another podcast. So I poached. Yes.
Headhunted.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, proper headhunted. Yeah.
Hashtag me too.
Hazelann.
Hello.
Wow. So, how are you, Hazelann?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're cool. You want to give out your socials or anything?
Oh, mate. I don't remember them.
All right. Don't worry. Take your time.
They're either Hazel and W or Hazel and Will, but I don't know which one's which. And to be fair, I don't even have social media on my phone. So,
Boom. I'm feeling that.
Your desktop.
So that's why you take forever to get back to me.
sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. That's nothing. No, that's nothing. Because what I found recently is that people that are WhatsApp take forever to get back to me now. It's like 2 days.
Oh no,
Women.
that's ridiculous.
Oh no,
It's
a
a
lot of
thing.
women. A lot of women have got this thing where they don't respond back to people.
No, what they're doing
it's
is
meant to be a thing, innit?
No, mid conversation.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
And then all of a sudden it's like, so
It's to throw you off.
how you doing this? Blah blah. Yeah, throw me off what? I'm not trying to think. We're talking about something, and then mid conversation, and I know these people listen to the podcast as well. There's 3 of them, three people that have guested on this podcast this week. Mid conversation, have just gone, and it's like, but we're talking. I asked them
But
questions.
it's you. Anything could happen. You could have abused them. You could have said something that you're not
you
sure
can read
about.
the conversation, man. Completely innocent.
Well, how long are you saying is gone?
I've got used to the fact that because with me, unless it's a random thing, I figure within an hour you're responding it. So I've got used to the fact now that within 6 or 7 hours they might not respond. But now it's like days.
So get
on Monday on Monday we're having a message conversation.
Yeah.
We're discussing something.
Yeah.
And then
you sent your last message.
it's read.
You've seen the blue ticks.
Yeah. Well, some of them, because a lot of them just lock that thing off. It's all grey. I said, don't trust a woman with grey ticks.
Why?
Because there's a reason they're hiding something. Anybody that hides something.
No, they
They're
might
hiding
just
something.
not be able to see their phone. No.
No. You can on WhatsApp. You have the option to say, I don't want anyone to know
whether I've read the message or not.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you can switch it on. The negative side to that is that you then don't know if
They've read your
if they read your messages.
Okay.
But they're willing to take that for I don't want them to know if I've seen their messages or not.
Okay.
So anyone that puts them, I say that I always put it down if I was single and I was dating. If I was dating somebody and they put themselves in that predicament, it'll put me off them. Put me well off them.
But in this dating field now, I've noticed there's a WhatsApp culture in it. Where
Yeah.
They don't WhatsApp. If they don't respond by a certain time, then they don't like you for a certain thing. Or sometimes they're trying to play games, so they don't respond one day, then respond the next day to see if you're still keen and all that. I don't understand all of this nonsense. I don't really. I'm glad I'm getting married because I can't deal with nonsense anymore. I can't.
Hazelann, you single?
No.
So you don't have to worry about all this kind of stuff then.
What?
The dating field, innit? The
Well, let's be honest. Relationships just have foolishness throughout, and that's
true.
just kind of
not necessarily.
yeah. The more you spend time with somebody, and the more you do stuff, I've got. And my grandparents are married for 64 years now,
Salute.
and the best relationship I could ever know. But at the same time, they argue about 5 times a day.
It's good to argue though.
Yeah.
It's not really though.
It is, man. It's good to get it out there, man. Out of the blue, man. Don't let things fester into your spirit.
But it doesn't have to fester.
It doesn't.
You have a quick argument. You get out of the way.
Yeah, but you said your grandparents though, isn't it? Yeah, my grandparents are like that as well. But they don't argue, they just don't talk to each other.
No, my grandparents talk to each other,
Yeah.
but they're always. So my grand's always telling my granddad to go in the next room or something like that, and then my granddad will say something. Most of the time he's placid, and then 10% of the time he's not having my grand's shit at all. And then
So this is the funny. So that's the funny thing now. At least your grandma has to tell him to go. My granddad goes in the room there. He don't want to be disturbed. Don't talk to him at all. When the family comes around, he comes out, says hello to everybody, and then goes back in his room because he doesn't want to be disturbed.
oh mate,
So they're living that life, and they both hate each other.
okay.
It's beautiful.
Well, my grandparents don't hate each other. They do love each other.
No,
And my
they hate
grand jokes about becoming pregnant certain times, and so they're doing their thing.
Oh my god.
Granddad's is dead.
My,
God damn 47.
Yeah.
my grandma's asking why she married him. So I don't know why I married him.
I wonder how
What
long
happened, Grandma?
we
You
will
forget?
be boning for real though.
Sorry.
I wonder what age we will be boning. You know what I mean? Like
Nah.
he's talking about our grandparents, man.
I'm signing off at 40. I'm done.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
I'm done, man.
40, you know.
Yeah, 40. I'm
40
giving
is
up.
not far for you though.
Don't listen
Oh,
to this
God.
guy.
I'm done with
man.
him.
When the arthritis kicks in, that's when you have to start deciding the movements.
No, not at all.
What about?
The highest rate of newly contracted HIV/AIDS are in over 50s. HIV virus, sorry, is in over 50s.
Them cheating bastards.
So,
That man that's going for the young girls, isn't it?
no, I think a lot of people are either divorcing at that age or, and a lot of people who are going, they used to live at home by themselves or with their husbands and wives, and they passed away, and now they're in homes
Doing bits.
doing the biggest bits.
Do you remember that video of that old man that was getting head by that old
Oh
woman?
yeah.
Man strokes her head, strokes her head like she was a cloth.
There's enough of them, man. There's enough
Oh,
of them out there
man.
now.
And when we say old, we mean these people are in their 70s, 80s.
Yeah, they were in the old people's
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, they were in the old people's home, and clearly one of the orderly. Is that what they called him?
Or orderlies or carers.
Was
Yeah.
recording
For the
recording them
grand boy.
round the corner. I think it's a bit disgraceful, really. 'Cause
They
you're
should
meant,
not
you're
have
meant to be
recorded
you're
it.
meant to be looking after these people,
Of course.
and you're recording the man getting a bit of
Nah, man.
gas.
Living my best life.
Them man still put it fellatio them age there, boy. She performed fellatio.
And it's probably easier with no teeth.
Wow.
That's very true.
Yeah.
You got to the details of it.
Huh?
Yep.
You got to the details of it.
Well,
It's true.
I never want to be old that I don't have any teeth,
No, I mean,
I want to be teeth for the rest of my life.
Well,
Bravo, you,
might as
better
well-
change your diet, home slice.
No, my teeth is
One
good.
time. Huh?
My teeth is good.
Yeah, they're good now.
No, I
Bro,
think I'll
you
be.
may on the fizzy drinks all the time, bluff.
No, I don't drink sugar drinks.
You don't drink sugar drink. He's come off of that, man. It's that one.
Sugar or fizzy?
Sugar.
Yeah, but
So no juices.
I don't drink juices anymore.
Oh, smashed it. Round of applause, bro.
Just
Proud of y'all, man.
get ready for the implants, boys. Screw them things into your
Talking
into
about
your jawline.
implants.
Ace teeth is good as well.
Talking about implants, yeah. One of the barbershop man, yeah, you know the barbershop that I talk about so much. He went to Turkey.
Okay.
That's right. So everybody's wondering, we're waiting to see. I saw him today at my son's football game, and yeah, he showed me, man.
What does that mean? He went to Turkey.
Oh, Turkey is the mecca for hair transplants.
Ah,
And
you would
teeth.
know, but we wouldn't know. That's what
yeah.
I'm
Oh, for real.
saying.
You get me?
Yeah, I was thinking, what are you on about?
Like Mr. Wolf feels no way. I don't care. I will tell everybody. I will go over there and I will do it. I don't care, bro.
Okay.
I feel no shame. I don't business, bro.
Did Rooney? And what did it look like?
Well, it's only a week old, so they say that it takes about 3 to 6 months
Yeah.
for it to fully heal and just grow and be nice. So he works in a corporate environment, so we started laughing at each other in it because he can't wear hats.
No.
You know what I mean? So he's gonna come up with some kind of funny excuse, man. But yeah,
Turkey's like the place. Turkey is like America's Cuba, because in America a lot of people go to Cuba for cosmetic surgeries and stuff.
okay.
Here a lot of
And
people
Dominican
go to
Republic.
Turkey. Yeah, that's where Nikita, what's her name, got her teeth done as well, isn't it? And her
Okay.
surgery.
Go on. Okay.
Who's Nikita?
Who's Nikita?
Nikita and Terrell. Nikita.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
We don't know. Just so you know, we don't know people.
Who's Nikita? I have no idea.
We're very bad with people that socialites that other people know. We'll be like,
Well, she was big in the Vine. Her and Terrell were really big Vine, and then Vine kind of went away, and then they did a YouTube
couples thing. innit?
couples thing, yeah. And then
It's
they
from your
broke
ends.
up, and she
She made out like he was violent from still.
Yes.
I remember.
She made out like he was proper hood coming. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this little guy that was doing that jobless thing.
Where he had a gun.
Where they get when a woman. I remember the woman on the train was talking to one boy, and she tried to say that he was trying to sexually assault her, and everybody was filming and like, yo, you never done that. Yeah, and he has a big long beard, light skinned boy. Yeah, him. That's Terrell.
Okay.
And his ex girlfriend is the Nikita girl.
Who gets hated on?
She does, and I don't see why people hate her
Because
so much.
she's good looking and light skin.
No, but I think a lot of the reason why people was throwing a lot of hate at her after a while is because of the surgery thing. Because she was actively doing like gym things and get into shape and blah. People are like, well, who are you telling us to get into shape when you went to go and do whatever you did? You're not in shape, are you? Or you were in shape, but your shape that you are now has been aided by surgery. So it's a disrespect, basically.
Who cares, man?
People that obviously are involved and want to lose weight, innit? When you're going out of your way to lose weight to look like somebody and you can't get there, don't let me finish. And you can't get there, and you think to yourself, oh, why can't I get to what she looks like? And you're thinking that she's done everything naturally, and she hasn't, and she's almost portrayed like she has. then you can feel a bit slighted.
It's false prophets. That's what it is.
Don't try and look like anybody else. If you want to look better or you want to have a certain shape, that's fine. Don't try and be like somebody else.
No, but what?
That's where the problem starts.
No, you're saying be like somebody else, but it's just the matter of carrying the inspiration across. Like that person has says that this is what they have done. This is the regime that they have done. I followed that regime. I'm getting the results that I'm getting, but how did she get them in such quick time? And then you find out that she had surgery afterwards. It's like
then go get surgery too.
Well, do you know what the majority?
You're missing the point.
The majority of them who, and where it's really dishonest is when they sell tummy slimming tea and stuff, things that they say will help you lose weight, and then they got a picture of themselves.
Before and after.
Well, not even necessarily before and after, but with the flattest torso, with the biggest bum, the perkiest breasts and stuff, and then
These hungry guys.
you know, but then they're making it seem that this product that they're selling
is the reason
why they're like that, which is why Jamila, whatever her name, called out Khloe Kardashian the other day because she was selling slim tummy tea, and so they've all sold slimming things.
Yeah.
At times and have had surgery and stuff, and that's really not how you get it. I mean, you have to have responsibility as an adult to realise that tea is not make you going to lose 50 kg when you don't want to go to the gym and work out.
Well, it depends.
Very naive,
It depends. If it's senna, you're going to lose that weight.
You're losing everything.
Yeah,
you're losing your intestines.
Yeah, there you go.
You're dying
There you go.
if that's all you're drinking is slimming tea. But they have to have that responsibility, and also the people who are portraying this thing, that they have this amazing, perfect body. They have to be honest and say, well, I have a chef, or I had a nip here, I had a tuck there, or I do this, and it's not.
It's just disclosure.
I think I should sell fatness, and I should just sell fattening stew.
Fattening stew.
Maybe I should just one Nigerian stew. I should try and sell it and see, because it's now in certain countries the rotund figure is revered.
Yeah.
So I can show them how you get there, innit? with a good stew and sell it on the streets.
How to be fat.
I think everybody knows that secret.
I don't know if they know how to get it to the correct roundness though. So maybe I should just go out there selling it. I can use Steph as the model as well. Me and Steph can model together. Brother and brothers.
Big Wahala presents How to Get Breasts.
On that note, let's start off with the first topic. All right.
AB cup, we can get it out there.
This was sent to our email address, which is at esnpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
I forgot our socials, isn't it? I'll do that at the end. It is what it is. And this is from obviously one of our listeners. It says, I have a question, lads. I just came off reading the book John Maxwell called reading this book by John Maxwell called Falling Forward. And my conclusion is life will be full of obstacles. Are we all chatting nonsense today?
Full of obstacles.
Yes.
It's just you, man.
Not just me, bro. You started it.
Me?
Yeah, corporate. Yeah, you said corporate. Yeah, we got a corporate.
Let me start.
Anyway.
The corporate episode.
Right. I just came off reading a book by John Maxwell. Do you know the author?
No.
Because you're the bookworm, aren't you?
Yeah.
Called Falling Forward. And my conclusion is life will be full of obstacles that may either break you or make you, depending on how you deal with it. So my question to the panel of brethren and ladies, behold,
a lady.
What obstacles or L's have you come across, and how did it affect you, and what did you learn from it, if you actually learned from it? Thank you, long time listener. Shout out to all the strong black men. Hold it down for their families and societies as a whole. #one love. And this is from Gigi. I don't know if they want their name put out there, but it's the initials are Gigi. So thank you for sending that question in, and thank you for being a listener. So who wants to go with that first? I actually know in my head my one.
Go on then, bro. Why?
But I don't want to just go first all the time. Let somebody else.
Do you
go
always
first.
go first? No. Carry on, bruv. Go on.
Do you know anything, Hazelann? What else in life have you taken, or what obstacles have you gone through that have made you?
I feel like I take an L every day.
Damn.
And as long as I get back home in bed and I'm feeling calm and ready for the next day, I'm cool with that. Like 25 million L's I've taken.
But we're talking about
life-changing L's.
No, it's gone because of something that's happened to you. The L or the obstacle, it doesn't have to be an L, but an obstacle, some sort of trouble. On the other side, you've learned something and it's made you grow, or it's broken you. It's like I'm worse now because of what happened, or I'm completely better now because of what's happened. Not just it happened and I'm home and you shrugged it off.
No, nothing's broken me.
I must break you.
Nah.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I can't think of any. I think everybody has or maybe I do, as I'm getting older, to have the tendency to think that things are worse than they actually are. And when I went from being somebody who was employed to being a business owner, everything seemed like it was the end of the world.
Fear.
You know, yeah, it's just like, oh my God, this person's not turning up. Or I've just about made enough money to pay the staff, or what have you. Do you know what I mean? And I had to, that's a quick way to kind of have a nervous breakdown. So I just had to kind of let it go. And I've been in a almost zen state for the last year and a half. Well, not zen, because things still come up. They still kind of vaguely upset me. But if you live your life focusing too much on obstacles, you never get anything done. You just spend your time in an anxious, almost depressive state. So I don't do that.
Okay.
Something comes up, it's dealt with, go gym, meditate, go bed. And then it's, you know, because tomorrow something else is going to come up.
That's it.
That's a good way of looking at life, though. Still,
all right. Okay. Well, I'll plunge into mine. Maybe you'll think of something once you. I think a big change in my life happened when I had my my first relationship was abusive, as we've discussed on the podcast many times. I won't delve into it, but it was physically abusive, it was mentally abusive, it was emotionally abusive. Go and laugh, Simple Simon. I'm not, because when we say physically abusive,
pour a little liquor for anime.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
I was the one that was being abused. You know, I got licked a couple of times here and there, left and right, and so I think what I went through was the worst you could have in most facets.
For the homies.
In terms of like the worst you could have in a relationship, and on the other side of that, what I learned was to appreciate what I did have with the women that I had after that, and to understand that, and to learn what to look for in a woman. So after that, I was zero tolerance in terms of what I would take and wouldn't take from somebody. So this thing about the grey ticks on WhatsApp, I say these kind of things all the time. If I was single, I wouldn't date you for this, or I wouldn't date you for that, or blah blah. I say these things all the time, and people are like, yeah. But for me, I learned there's no reason for you to try and, the way I put it, put square peg into round hole. Mm-hmm. If I'm not emotionally attached to you already, I don't have to put myself in that position when I feel there's X, Y, and Z I don't like about you. Just leave it. I know nobody's perfect, so that by all means, I'm not saying the person has to be perfect when you're dating. But if there's things that you feel could be a dodgy thing, just go and find somebody else, because there's billions of people out there. So find someone else. So that's what I learned from that relationship. Pick carefully and then appreciate what you have. So I appreciate my woman daily. Whereas maybe if I didn't go through that relationship, it could be every chance I could have met my wife now, been in a few years with her, and feel there's something better out there, or you know she don't treat me that good because there's better out there. I know the scale, or I've seen the bottom of the scale. I've seen the bottom of the pot is burnt. I don't want to be that there. Right at the top, I've got something that's blessed. So I don't think I would understand the scale as well if I hadn't been to the bottom. That's what I said. So that relationship, I kind of as a blessing. As bad as it was, it's definitely a blessing. It's definitely a good thing in my life. If I didn't go through that, I don't think I'd be where I'm at.
Do you think that's the worst time of your life?
Well, you're talking about yes. Anyway, yes.
Oh, is that the worst stab you've ever been?
Is that
during that relationship? Do you think that's the worst you've ever? The worst.
Yeah.
If you used to reflect on yourself, that's the worst I've ever been.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't the best. No. I don't know. I wasn't good. I wasn't peak Stav, but it turned me into peak Stav. It was like training camp for peak Stav, because before then I wasn't peak Stav either. I was coasting, and I was. I think I was. Yeah, I wasn't.
There would have been something that would have led you to get into that situation and have accepted it for a little while until you left, and then you realised it changed you from the person you were before that would allow you to get into that situation. And this is my.
I was a bitch
analysis.
before. I was a bitch.
No, he was young and naive, to be fair.
Okay.
I wasn't loyalty as well.
I just loved her, and the love just meant just deal with anything.
Loyalty,
and
loyalty.
Naive is the word, because it's like If I love her hard enough, she'll change. If I love her, so when people say I don't understand how you can stay with somebody like this, I get it. If I love them hard enough, they'll stop. If I love them hard enough, they won't cheat anymore. Because I think she was cheating too. But that one I have no proof with. I got the proof with the beats because I have scars.
You generally
so
go with your gut.
they usually
You're
go,
probably right.
Yeah,
This is why he doesn't like Nigerians.
there were times when-
Jamaicans. This is why he doesn't like Nigerians.
but she was Nigerian.
I know.
Don't let him throw slide that.
The hell universal. but-
What was it? Yeah, because there were times where she's just like, don't speak to me for the next 3 days.
What?
Yeah, and I was in.
I've heard of girls doing
That's
that.
the real abuse. That's the real
And
abuse.
That's
I'd
like
call
now.
her,
That's why the girls are WhatsApping you. That's what's happening now.
and I could go to her house and she'd be inside and she just won't open the door.
Jeez.
And she lived in South. I was
But
in
she
East.
might have been the present.
Huh?
The present.
Depressed?
I told you we're all doing it today.
A man said depressant.
Yeah.
Like she's the actual pill that you take.
Like it's the tablet, you know.
Present.
I am the depressant. Take me and you will be
That
depressed.
is the party.
Take me and you will be depressed.
Why does it sound hollow, man?
I am the depressant.
Well, she was a drug addict and she was depressed.
This is you wanted to try to bring it to my family. You know?
A man said drug addict.
If
A drug addict, man abuser is who you wanted to marry.
because we were broke.
When were you married?
We weren't even broke because we had jobs. I wasn't earning that poorly for a 21-year-old at the time. I was 20, 21.
But you're spending all your money, innit?
I was giving her all my money. Like, yeah, so not only was she getting here, and not only was she cheating on me, I was giving her all my money. Take all my money. Take it all.
Was she older than you?
Yeah, only a couple of
He
years.
was dating Cardi B.
Nah. I was just very,
She was
very-
drugging him and taking it out.
I should have laughed, but that's funny.
I wasn't taking the drugs.
I said she was drugging you and taking
If
it
she
out.
didn't have her drugs, it's on tops.
It sounds like she had mental health disorder.
Yeah. I wish her the best for her now. Hopefully she's come out the other side and she's cool. But if she didn't have, and it was only it wasn't like a crack
Nah,
cocaine
don't
or
wanna.
whatever. It was only but it was skunk.
Skunk. Now that's got coke on it.
She needed the hard.
cheese.
It's not necessarily
A lot of skunkers got coke on it.
I don't know, but
Does
it's,
it? Yes.
it's weed laced with other stuff in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's laced with.
They say with cocaine.
But she needed the
Oh, medical
she needed it.
marijuana.
And if she didn't have it. You could actually see her. You know that stereotypical shivering.
Okay.
She'd be on the bed shivering like if you ain't got no money for this is what it got down to. If you ain't got no money for me to get the stuff, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you
And
right
she's out here shivering.
now. Like that's it. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk
Bruh,
to you.
you might have
If you have you got money for me? Are you gonna get me all my stuff? That's what it's called, my stuff.
Damn,
Then
phone
just leave. Just leave.
And this is
I don't want you
the
here.
bro that was in my house, you know.
She.
But that's
Mom spoke about it yesterday, you know.
my mom spoke about this one.
Yeah, on the way home.
Stavros,
What did she
where's
say?
the TV? Mama, she smoked the TV.
When she said to me, he was talking about her and he said, we spoke about it and he goes, this is the one that he said he wanted to marry that hadn't even come to the house more than 3 times or something like that.
Wade twice.
He's
So
like, no one can come to my house only twice and think that that person can get married. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, but to be fair, he was 20.
He's
Wade.
old enough.
No.
Okay.
I was
No.
I was with her for 3 years. She's Nigerian, and she was even raised in Nigeria. She knows the
code
I don't
of-
know
the code of
how
effect.
how linked you are with your Nigerian side.
And not at all.
But culturally, you go see the parents,
Okay.
and she went out of her way to not because she had so many issues
Meet the
with
fuckers.
previous parents, partners. I mean, previous partners' parents.
Okay.
So she had this fear. This very irrational fear of meeting.
But it wasn't
partners.
irrational though.
No, because no,
It
what
wasn't.
happened-
She
it
was she was an abusive drug head person. It's not irrational.
You don't need to
She's
put it like that.
abusing you.
Yeah, but my parents didn't know that.
But she still has to go and meet your parents, look at them in the face, and know that she's doing all that stuff to you. So it wasn't an irrational fear to meet them, especially considering all the stuff she was doing to you.
Wade. Cocaine. We've been doing that since the 80s.
But either way, that relationship made me stronger.
yeah.
It made me stronger, and it made me appreciate the relationship I have.
Okay.
That's good.
Simple Sam, you go next.
So basically, I've lost 2 children, and that's shit. So, that was what probably be the biggest L's I've taken in life, and from that I learned that sex isn't just for procreation; it's also a means and method by which to get therapy for feeling fucked up.
Sex.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So in other words, you're saying that during the time that you was feeling away, that you got through it through sex.
Yes.
What's that
happens.
with your partner?
Yes.
That,
Okay.
you know,
No, I was wondering.
Yes.
I did.
There was a short period of that, and then I think we broke up not too long afterwards.
And sex
then-
was still the therapy.
Yes, for another 2 years probably, and then at the end of that, it was like
It's a workaround. It's not a solution.
no, but it is because I kind of learned what the event taught me is that we kind of think about. Well, we don't think about it until it happens. And then when it
Yeah.
happens, we're like, oh my God, why has this happened to me? Blah, 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 blah. But what happens when you go through that experience, one of the things that you learn is that not only is it a very common occurrence,
Yeah.
but it also brings a level of reality to you that says, this is life.
Yeah.
And although we live in society and we've got all this technology and all the rest of it, the fundamentals of life is still remaining the same. Like there's certain things that are down to nature.
Yeah.
And it brought that natural aspect back to me. So like when you see what do you call these programs? Planet Earth and all that, and they show you the life cycle, and you see that one of the youths don't make it or whatever, and you think, wow, that's cruel. No, that's life. Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying to you? So like I learned that when it happened, I learned that it's not something that is isolated, because so many people who I speak to on a day-to-day level, like all of a sudden come out and they kind of like, yo, you know what? It happened to us as well.
Yeah.
Happened to me as well. Like happened to me more than once or whatever. But it's one of those things, you know, like sometimes you say to people, I don't know how to explain it. You have to go through it. This is one of those things that you have to go through, because once you go through it, everyone else who's gone through it can talk to you now.
Well, I think that's a great point, and I think you're right. I also think there's way too much romanticizing around sex and conception.
Yeah.
So people think that it's going to be really easy to get pregnant,
Yep.
and they think it's going to be like 100%, or there might be a
Yep.
little bit of morning sickness in the first 2 weeks, and then everything's fine. And then they think kids are just going to be born healthy and happy.
Yep.
And, you know, then they're all going to go to university. And a lot of women feel so much pressure because they think that their pregnancy should be perfect, or when they lose a baby, they can't understand why. And they
Yeah.
think they're the only person in the world
It's ever
who's-
happened to.
yeah.
And they blame themselves.
And it really has. Well, it's more. Well, at first you're just more really shocked, and then you just think you're the only one, and then you don't want to talk to your sisters or the closest people to you because you don't think it's happened. And then you speak to your best friend or whoever, and you find out that there's been literally dozens of babies that
Yeah.
the family has lost.
Yeah, right
But
around you.
Yeah, but nobody really speaks about it.
But nobody speaks about it because
taboo though.
no, it's well, there's a piece of that, but there's also, it's like once it happens to you, there's nothing to explain. It's only now, okay, all I can give you is everything I wish I had when it happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas before, if you try to talk to somebody who's never experienced it before, they can try and give you as much empathy as they like in the world. You don't feel it, and that's
Well, I don't know. I am very vocal, and there's nothing I won't talk about. And the same with my nieces and my nephews and them growing up. And my family, for instance, I had a period party for my niece. So, because menstruation is something else that they don't like to talk about.
Okay.
It's something that seems very dirty. It's like, oh, here's your tampon, go and hide in the bathroom. Whereas it's not. It's natural. And in fact, it's the only thing that women are made to do.
Clean. It's dirty. You're not allowed in my bed at that time of the month.
That's what it said in the Bible.
Go away.
But,
No, sorry. But
yeah,
what is a period
there's-
party? For
So
those that don't
you
know.
get together, you welcome the youngest girl who's just flowered, or what they say, flowered. You explain that this is a period, this is what you do. You know, you can have decorations, you can have cakes. It's just like a coming together when you kind of explain to her, okay, it's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, if you need to double up, you double up. That's fine. I'm very big into natural stuff, so I'm always pushing the moon cup. So I'm like, use your moon cup. And I'm telling everyone about my moon cup, which is a reusable plastic kind of tampon that will last for like 10 years. So you don't actually have to use tampons or pads and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah, you know.
Reusable.
Also, yeah,
Where you wash it?
in the sink.
Which sink?
He's giving her the eye, you know.
The same one that you clean the chicken in?
In your sink.
Man's eye started flickering now.
Which sink?
No, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and talk about knowing your cycle, knowing when you're ovulating and stuff like that. my family, they did think I was crazy at first, but it's about making sure there is that awareness.
Of course.
As women, we need to give it to...
Definitely ovulation, I think.
Ovulation, conception, with all of it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely...
No, that's a good look.
I think that's fantastic.
I don't know what I'll do, man.
I've never heard anyone do that before.
Are you
impressed?
You gonna have period parties with your daughters?
Is this a woman's only event?
No, it doesn't have to be, but generally, I mean, her brother didn't want to be there. It doesn't have to be. And also at the same time, I can't then kind of be like to him, oh, well, this is what it's like to have an erection, you know, so the guys have to do that. I can only tell her what it's like to be a girl and a woman.
I can't imagine ever having a discussion with my son about an erection.
Why?
Why not?
Because I don't know what I'm going to tell him. It's hard, Daddy.
You got to be open, man.
Go have your breakfast.
You got to be able to have a conversation with your child.
Yeah, but what am I going to say to him? It's hard. It's supposed to be hard. I can't remember a time that it was never hard.
Well,
so I don't know that time.
So you'll have to start early, because the boys in my family, you know, they have erections from babies and from when they're younger. So that's when the guys, you know, you nudge them like, you just, even if it's the baby talk, the baby shark version of what an erection is. Do you know what I mean? You know, if you're giving it a name and what have you, and dad's explaining that that's just what happens, because otherwise, like with my family and stuff, especially we're very, very Christian, it's something that was so dirty, and, you know, they would shame the boys into thinking, and the girls, into thinking that, oh, you don't touch it, you slap it, you hit it away, and it was like...
Sound like a beast, boy.
Yeah, you beat your meat. They're teaching them the right way.
Not in the good way.
I find that I feel if I had a son, because I've got a daughter, I feel that it'd be easier for me to talk to my daughter about sexual stuff than my son.
Why?
Well, I don't have no idea, but maybe because I'm so get up for it, because I've got a daughter and I want to be one of these people that that talks to her about it. So I'm already prepped for period talk. I've already told him, don't worry about it. I'll talk to her. He's like, what are you talking? I'll talk to her about it. It's so good.
It's blood.
No, it's just blood. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
I think you feel like that because you maybe are not in that situation. You know, perhaps if and when you have a son and then you build that bond with him, and then, you know, by the time he's 10, 11, 12, when you're starting to have these conversations, it will just come naturally.
I feel more comfortable talking to women about
women stuff.
No,
about stuff.
You're confident. You talk to us about all these kind of things.
No, I feel more comfortable talking to women about certain things, not including my sister. Sorry, sis, love you. Than men.
Okay.
So we're gonna go back to the question, but because we're here, innit? Can you, one, remember the first time that you had an erection, and two, has any of your parents ever talked to you about your erection?
1 no, 2 no.
Same. I come from, I think we all come from a very old-fashioned background. You know, our parents, all of us here, old-fashioned. My dad is 81 this year. Oh. Do you know what I mean? So he's an old man. He's an old school guy. I never had no pep talk on women, sex, anything like that. I had to learn from my friends. You get me? So I thought when I have my son, it's not going to be like that. We're going to have an open relationship where we can talk about certain things freely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have those conversations with my boy.
Yeah, you weren't talking for me, by the way. My dad had them conversations with me.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, actually, because majority of guys that I know didn't have that conversation, but they also ended up losing their virginities really young. Yeah. Really early, and didn't know what they were doing, and just got themselves into really bad, dangerous situations.
I had the conversation. I still lost my virginity early. Can't tell me nothing.
South Philly.
Nah.
So you think one's linked with the other? You think just because you have the conversation, all of a sudden you hold back from having the thing?
Well,
because you're more informed. With my nephews now, they were more informed and they waited till later to have sex. And also, my nephews were more comfortable to come to me and say, well, auntie, there's this girl and she wants us to do this and she wants us to do that.
Women, you know?
And I was like, well, because the girl's saying to her, you can't get pregnant doing this, and you can't, you know, and there's all that thingy. Well, and that's how you end up in whole problems.
Let me tell you about a story about Adam and Eve.
Go and look at something like this. Well, I ain't putting on it. No,
sorry. Woman is evil, and that's why your sister is having period party as we start. I'm sorry. I'm only playing with you. I love you. Sorry. So okay, so three of us didn't have the conversation. And
What,
one
you
of us
just assumed
did.
that?
Yes.
Oh, you were goddamn right. You really didn't have a conversation with me at all either. Mum kind of had conversations about sex though, but she never had but we never spoke about erection.
My dad was about the protection thing. I see, listen, you have to wear a condom because the world's moving mad right about now. And I'm like, what is a condom, Dad? It's a plastic thing that, sure, I'll show you one day. And then
Yeah, my mum was offering to buy me them and stuff like that. After our brother had early pregnancy, the rest of us was not allowed to have that situation. So she used to tell me, boy, blatantly, you know, make sure if you want condom, I'll get it for you. I was like, all right.
my mum was the supplier, mate. What do you mean?
Yeah, I know.
Do you remember?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I'm even thanking your mum.
You see that?
There'll be times when people will come with the big box and I'll be like, yeah, let me take 4 of them.
Handful, bro.
All right. So back to the question then. We've done our little segue.
All right. So who wants to go next? You want to go next?
Question again?
About what's your
Biggest
biggest L's
enemy
you got
in your
and
life.
how you went.
Okay, yeah. There's 2 things that have happened to me. Similar to Simple Simon, actually. I've got 2 kids. Yeah, I should have had 5. So before my son, there was a delayed miscarriage. 2 after him, and then my daughter. So that would have been 5 in total, man.
Jesu.
You get me? I would have loved to have 5 youths as well, you know. I
can see you being a man with 5 kids as
That's
well.
what I'm saying, man. I got like one of the guys from the barbershop, man. He's got 7 kids. You get me? And there's many a time that he's walked past the shop or we've been places and you just see his tribe just behind him. You know what I mean? The oldest one is 21 and then the youngest one is like 4. And you just look at that.
Same mother.
Well, you've got time.
No, he's got 3 different women.
Oh, that's long.
You've got time, though.
Oh yeah, I got time.
I ain't got no time.
Why?
Nah.
No, there's one guy at work, one guy that I know, and he is 48, and he just recently had another child.
He's taking the piss.
You get me? So
He's taking the piss.
well, I think do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Nah, you're taking the piss.
And your dad must have had you quite late.
He did. My dad had my older brother when he was about 37 or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So if you can do it and if you got the resources to do it, then go forth.
Yeah, but look at the relationship. Even you said like your relationship with your dad meant that he wasn't open about things. He did stuff old school and all
I
that.
think that's down to his own upbringing. I think the generation that we're in now, when we get to that age of 80, we're going to be a different type of parent than how our parents were.
What, on
Do you know what I mean?
Instagram? We're going to be there on Instagram
Right.
trying to
We're
floss.
going to be, I think we're going to be more connected to society and maybe more connected to our children.
Nope.
You understand? Well, I think maybe from you, but I think when I get to an age where people are looking at me like an elderly man, I believe that I'll still be connected to my kids. I'll still want to shake a leg at the family party and have a few drinks and things like that.
Are you saying that your parents don't want to shake a leg? That's what they're doing. They're shaking a leg. It just looks weird to you because you're like, these lot are old.
Nah,
It'd be the same thing.
I won't lie. My mum gets down, man. You know, my mum was doing the gun lean the other day. You get me? Like she had my niece was there and she was dancing and you know, so they get down. But I just think that there's a different type of old folk that is coming up in the next maybe 30, 40 years.
I want to establish, I was simple yesterday. I want to establish that the gun lean was in the Shina Peters video from day dot.
From a long time,
From a
innit?
long time. Man's have been in gun lean.
You get
But
me?
what about your L's, bro?
So basically, that was one of the things that happened to me, and the way that I got through it was, I think it was through my family. You know, there was that, and the relationship that I had, which now doesn't exist anymore. That was a very, very bad period of my life. I didn't get physically abused. Well.
Don't laugh at me.
well, let's not talk too deeply into the circumstances surrounding my relationship, or the previous relationship. But it wasn't a good time in my life.
Man, I get beat up.
I didn't get beat up, but it was not good. You get me? And it was very toxic. It was very.
Two slap in the face.
I'm the kind of person who deals well with pressure. I can handle pressure at work. when I was doing events, when the pressure was on. Everybody knows that I'm very calm and collected under circumstances that can rattle most people, you know. And I think that I dealt with that pretty well. But I would say that my faith got me through it. My friends and my family and my kids. You get me?
Good.
So I would say that's how I dealt with all of those situations. You know? And you mentioned something about meditating.
Yeah.
You know, I think people find it difficult to just be in their own space sometimes, close their eyes and just think about how you're going to get through a day, how you're going to get through a situation. And some people do that through prayer.
Yeah.
You get me? And other people can actually, you know, take their time to just zone out and kind of figure out how they're going to deal with certain situations, you know?
Well, they say that meditation is the first form of prayers, isn't it? Before religion became established as such. And I don't pray, I'm not religious, but I do meditate. And more so, meditation just makes you appreciate what you have and realize the blessings that you have. Because when you are feeling such a negative emotion, it can be so difficult to let go of. And sometimes you just need to look at what you really have, as opposed to what you lost.
I think some people may fear meditation because it will open their eyes to certain things that they don't want to think about, you know, or things that they don't want to go through. Because you have to go through the fire. Sometimes you need to get you know, they talk about oil and olive oil. The flour has to get grounded for it to become oil, that oil that people use. So sometimes you need to go through hell to get a blessing on the other side.
Most people aren't built for that.
I'm not
I think, some people are not built like that. But I think that for those, do you know what you don't know until you try?
I don't like it.
You've tried.
Why don't you like meditation, bro?
I don't.
Because he doesn't like his own thoughts.
I don't. No, it's not. I don't come sit down and have my own thoughts. Okay, what are we describing as meditation?
Yeah.
You have to blank your mind.
Well, no. The meditation I do is I sit down. It's quiet. And I give myself a mantra for the day. So if I'm feeling really low and something bad's just really happened, again, the mantra for the day will be gratefulness. And I've got love, and I've got family, and I've got blessings in my life. And it's those three things. And I just say it over in my head for like 5 minutes.
I swear Tina
while
Turner
I'm sitting
done it as well.
quietly.
Yeah, that's a form of meditation, isn't it?
I'm not involved in that.
Have you tried it though?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like that. Listen,
why don't you like it?
I've been conditioned in the way that I am. Is if there's a problem, you solve it.
Yeah.
All of this thinking about it, thinking around the solution, trying to find a positive around it. Nah, sort it out. Sort out the problem. And I don't think
I hear that.
I don't.
Well, how do you sort out losing a child?
You can't. That's the point. It's done.
So then what do you do?
You just have to move on.
Okay.
You just have to move on. You can't do anything about it. So I'm the type of person that there's either a solution to a problem, or if there is no solution that you cannot solve, you just go past it because you can't do anything.
But you can't do that.
But you have to.
You have to.
I suppose
You're spiritually backed up, mind
Well,
you.
everyone's different, but if it's you and your wife,
Yeah.
and you can look past it, but she can't, how do you then support her?
You didn't have to do. Unfortunately, this is going to sound quite bad. They are the problem now. They've got an issue, and you need to now find a resolution for that issue.
And what is the resolution?
It depends on the person.
Well, you know your wife.
Yeah, then you have to have that discussion with them. You know your wife to a certain extent. You know every person into a certain extent, because if you've never been in a situation with them, you do not know how they're going to behave or act in that situation until that happens. So then once that thing happens, you then have to have a discussion or sit down with them and decide how it's going to affect them and how to be something better for them. But the actual issue that they've got, I cannot solve, which is they want that baby to be back, and I cannot solve that because I'm not God. I can't solve or whatever you want to do. I cannot bring the baby back to life. So you can't do anything about that particular thing that's there, but you can, I suppose, ease their pain in different and numerous ways. But you then need to know that person or have a discussion with that person. And sometimes they themselves don't know how to ease their pain. So they're just telling you this, that, and the other. And you're like, well, what do you want from me? And they don't actually know themselves. So eventually you work it out and you'll find out where to go forward. But I'm not a fan of sitting there thinking about the positives of my life.
But don't get it twisted.
When there's what I would prefer to do is attack what I need to attack.
But when I'm talking about the issues that I had, solutions were being made, innit? For one of the situations, the relationship itself, that was more long term. That happened over a period of time, innit? So it came to a point where you realize that things are not going to go a certain way, and then you act upon it, and then you find solutions to make your life a little bit better, more balanced, innit?
I know it works for others. It's just that I don't think it works for me. Meditating.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of
sitting still.
No, I can sit still, but I'm not just sitting still to feel something or an emotional rush to come and make me feel away or whatever you're doing to meditate.
But no, what I'm saying to you, right? So you're making ceremony out of it. Let's just say, for example, if you sat down, have you ever sat down in a room? There's no TV on. You're not looking at your phone. Maybe the light's not even on. Have you ever just sat down in a room like that where you are just where it's so quiet that you can actually hear the electricity going through the cables in your house? You've done that?
Yes, many times. What's the purpose?
No, what I'm saying to you is this is the introduction to meditation. That is a form of meditating.
Yeah, but for me, unless it depends on where it is. Unless I'm going to bed, that's just a waste of my time. There's other things I could be doing.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. You seem to need like stimulus constantly.
With meditation, like I hear what you're saying, Simple. You take time out to actually meditate. It's like, okay, I know that I've got excess of 10 minutes before I got to do this.
Exactly. I
know that I can. I won't say that I do it often or that I've done it often, but I know that it has helped me sometimes just to zone out and just to forget about everybody.
So it is ceremony.
No,
it is because you're taking the time out of your day to do it.
No, you can meditate on the bus.
Yeah, but if you're saying that there's a time, I'm going to take this 10 minutes of my day and I'm going to take out that 10 minutes to go and do this particular thing. For me, it is almost like ceremony because you've taken a part of your time out of your day to do it.
To me, it's not a big deal.
Going to the gym's not a ceremony.
I would say it is in some way. So maybe that's my meditating.
Well, then in that case, everything would be a ceremony because you're taking the time out to do everything.
Yeah.
Gaza.
I'll say that.
But that doesn't make sense. Everything is not a ceremony.
In a way, it is though. If it's something that you're doing, taking your time out to actually go and do, then yeah, I'll say it is.
No, because I take the time out to go to the toilet or to wash my face.
For a certain man, that's a ceremony. I'll tell you that now. That's a good. That is my meditation right there. If you want to say, that's the dark room that I'm talking about right there.
Rather than that might be. I don't know.
I do my best thinking sometimes on the toilet.
That's
there
what I'm saying.
go.
So you may be on the
shit makes you think better.
Yeah, it's a time that I have to be in one place for a certain period of time, and the only thing I could ever do is distract myself with nonsense.
But you're on the phone when you're in the toilet, though.
Not always.
Okay.
Or focus on things that I need to do and even then, if I'm on my phone, it might be to do a solution for something. It might be to find something that I was meant to find during the day that I haven't done because I've been doing other things. So I'm more of a person that doesn't take this meditation thing as something I think is a positive for me.
For you?
For me. But other people, I get how it helps. But
some people.
In 10 years' time, Wahala will be saying that he does meditation.
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
No, I remember our conversation we were having about him eating too much meat, and he was telling us vehemently he don't give a damn. He eats so much whatever. And then 5 years later, he comes back. Boy, I'm cutting down on meat. You know, bro. Do you remember that?
I still eat a copious amount of meat.
Gaza.
I still eat a copious amount.
I think walking as well. I mean, meditation doesn't have to be sitting still and eyes closed.
That too.
And people walk, with nothing with them, or they may have their phone and be on silent, but that's their form of meditation or their form of zoning out and just trying to collate solutions.
I used to meditate all the time, Stavros.
I'm sure you
tell us about it.
No, I just used to literally sit there and meditate, but not for 5 minutes, but half hours at a time, big chunks. Yeah, but long time.
Did it help you?
Organize your thoughts.
Who knows, man? I know I'm better now than I was back then. So I don't know, and I don't meditate anymore. Not in that way. I was been sitting there thinking about it because I think in my head I was thinking I used to meditate and now I don't. But I believe I'm in some sort of zone of being completely blessed. I'm in some sort of, I have an aura around me where it's just I'm just blessed. I'm happy. So I'm just in that zone. And then I'm thinking maybe my life is meditation. Maybe I'm in that place now where I'm meditating from when I wake up to when I go to sleep, I'm just in that zone.
And that is another level of because meditation has levels, isn't it? There's the level where you have to sit and be still,
I've transcended,
and then there's a level where
Nirvana, bitch.
Yeah, where you can meditate in motion. That's the other side.
Maybe because the way I see it is that I'm fully blessed. All I'm trying to do in life now is pass those blessings on and make money. Because the only thing that I feel tangible I need now is a bit more money. It's not a bit, in fact, a lot more money. But then from that's what I need to take in. Everything else I'm trying to give out. I want to give out more. I want to give out more.
I'm very
blessings.
happy for you.
So now that you want to get more money,
No.
I'm guessing Camelot and them lot have done you a nice little favor, haven't they?
Okay.
Of
they?
recent.
This one is segueing.
Yeah, of
Segue.
recent.
So what's this new thing that's going on with Camelot and them thing there?
All right. So last month they bought in a new lotto where you could
Okay.
win 10,000. If you win,
I've heard about that.
10,000 every month. £10,000
For the rest of
sterling
your life.
every month. No, for 30 years.
Okay. All right.
That equates to 3.6 million.
Mm.
So I'm asking the question because I sat there, I did the math. I was like, boy, if I had that, that's nice, you know. It's nice.
10 grand a month.
10K a month.
It's 120 grand a year in it, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you rather that 3.6 million
In cash.
over the 30 years of your life? I think hopefully we're all young enough.
Nope.
You know, inshallah, we'll all live the 30 years.
Nope.
Or if I were to offer you 2.6 million now, so 1 million less, 2.6 million now, bang, in your hand, right now.
Nigerians are going to say yes.
To which one?
To the 2.6 million bang in your hand right now. Nigerians will always say yes to that.
You sure?
Yeah, because they ain't got no fucking foresight.
So which? All right.
Why are you dashing it against Nigerians?
No, because it's true.
He's anti-Niger today.
I'm talking about my family.
Locks just fall out.
Okay. Can we? I will go around the table. I want to know. So, Hazelann?
Let me go last.
Hazelann,
Why
10K
did you deduct the million?
because it makes a difference.
Because you're getting it now.
Yeah, because if I just make it the same, I say I'll give you something over 10 years, or I'll give it to you right now. Why would you wait the 10 years? There's no logical reason to wait the 10 years unless you're really, 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 really bad with money, and it's like that's going to help.
10,000 for 30 years.
Yes,
I mean,
3.6 million.
I don't know. Depending on inflation and compound interest, in 30 years, 10,000 could be like £1,000.
That's my thinking, exactly.
So I don't know about that. If it was to go up with inflation,
No.
and I think I'd take the bulk now.
The 2.6 million you're taking now. They're greedy ass you. So,
No. But imagine what you can do and how you can turn that. You can easily turn that 2.6 million into 260 million in 30 years.
Easily. Not if most people that win the lottery lose it all. It's not.
Do they?
Most people.
Most of them, yeah.
If you don't grow up with money, like learning from your formative years how to deal with a lot of money, when they give it to you at a certain point in your life, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, you win the money. Most of them, I don't think it's even half. Most of them, they lose 90% of that within the next 5 or 10 to 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, because you weren't built for that.
Well, I mean, you could just invest in property, in land, and a few other things.
They do it and they still lose it because they don't know which property and land to invest in.
I mean, property doesn't raise as much, but you don't really lose.
No, but they're going into some real bad stuff. Like they don't know that they're going into bad stuff, but they're going and buying bad property, going into bad businesses. Like I've read a couple of the stories, and
you can lose money in business. Property in the UK is pretty solid. It's not like you're going to be earning 100% of interest. It's probably between 5 and 10% maximum per year you'll earn on the average property. But yeah, I'd still go with the chunk.
All right.
And then
So
build.
you're taking the chunk.
I am taking the chunk.
While I want to go last. So, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah, I'm not. Well, you guys probably know the stats in it, but I know that there are stories out there of people receiving the lottery jackpot and completely messing it up. I know that there's quite a few stories, but you got to consider that people winning millions of pounds every week and have done so for the past maybe 15 or 20 years. So if you know that the stats are outweigh the negatives to the positives, then fair enough. But I'm not sure that I agree with that.
no,
I think
It's not his opinion.
What would you do? Don't worry about the stats.
I'm just saying, man.
it's not his opinion. It's true.
Okay, I'd like to see that. But anyway, I would take the bulk, no long thing. It's not even a debate for me because I know that, just like what our lovely guest said, that 10 grand today, in terms of 10 grand maybe 15 or 20 years from now, is not going to be the same. I remember John Barnes earned 10 grand a week.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Yeah.
15,
Yeah.
what was that, 20 years ago? 10 grand now is nothing.
Yeah.
People in League One earn 10 grand. So I know personally that I will be able to turn 2.6 million into quite a bit of money.
You think?
I know.
You think?
No, there's no thinking about it.
Don't
bruv.
be so cocky.
I'm not even asking you,
No.
bruv.
If
I'm
he's got the
telling
right
you.
business plan, you can
get me?
easily.
Okay,
I'm not
life,
asking
because
you.
life doesn't happen, innit?
No, life does happen, but I'm not even asking you, bruv. I'm telling you that I know
It's
that
okay.
the 2.6 that I have in my hand, I would be able to turn that money into a large amount easily, even in the space of 6 months. I know who to go to, where to go to, bruv. To me, it's quite easy.
It can easily be done.
Okay.
What bank account would you keep that money in?
Well, the thing is that these people that get the lottery jackpot, they have an option of a separate bank account. I can't remember the name of the bank account, but it's a certain bank account. And they also get counselling. They have people that come to them to aid them, of the financial advisors.
before they actually give them the money.
Yeah, so they get financial advisors and people that try to prevent these negative situations from occurring. But I've got too much wisdom around me
So
in terms of friends and family for me to blow 2.6 or 2.5 million.
So
It just won't happen.
do you know
Where you're
the
going to?
bank? Do you know where you're going? Do you know the bank that they put the money in?
I can't
and
remember
you know,
the name.
And you know what the guarantee is on the outstanding balance of that bank? Because in this country, the banking industry has a guarantee on your funds up to about 85,000.
80,000, yeah.
Yeah, it's up to, so like between 85,000. Yeah, and it means that if you have more than 85,000 in the bank, and some financial crisis happens, and the bank washes away, they're only going to guarantee 85,000 worth of it. So the bank that they're putting this 2.6 million in, do you know how much they get the guarantee for?
I don't know the details.
It's a British bank, and
It's
British
coots.
banks, and yeah, they're guaranteed. It would be a bank like Metro Bank or a foreign bank that's not owned
By
in part or supported
I
by
was
the British,
thinking
where it
about
wouldn't be
offshore accounts.
guaranteed. But every kind of investment expert that you speak to always says you diversify. You never have everything in one
Of course,
bank
of course,
account.
of course.
So, and with this financial advisors, you could easily pay £10,000 and have the person who looks after Oprah's money looking after your money, and just say to them, just put it in whatever portfolios you think, and it's their job to look after you, and you're
Well, I say take
getting money.
3.6%.
You know, like that.
3.6% is better than no percent.
Simple.
I'll take the 10 grand a month for the 30 years.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Why?
I'm not trying to die out here, man.
So what
You
does that
could
mean?
die tomorrow.
You mean if I give you some money, the ends is coming out for you?
It's not even the ends, it's your family.
God damn.
You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not trying to die out here, man. They can live more with the idea of me getting 10 grand a month than they could with me hitting a 2.6 million lump sum all at once.
Oh, that's a good point.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
So really you're worried about the people around you?
Yeah, you have to worry about your people. Those are the ones that's when the trouble starts, bro. It starts from the people around you, the ones you thought you could trust.
I'm confident.
Alright?
Me too.
So you're going to take the money.
Stavros will take the 2.6 because of what Mr. Wolf and Hazelann said. 10 grand in I'm trying to think a realistic time in 15 to before around 20 years anyway, definitely that last 10 years of the 10 grand it's not a lot of money.
Yes.
In the big scheme of things.
So, yeah,
you'll be getting an income, but it'll be almost like
It'd more than likely be 5 grand.
maybe my child is earning that.
Oh, is it
every
10
month.
grand a month? Was it 10 grand a month? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that if I talk to my parents
That's
about
true,
what they were earning back in the day, they were talking about, we used to get £5.76 every week. That was your wage.
My
40 years ago. Like,
Yeah, my grandparents bought their house for £1,000. 45 years ago, it's now worth £1.2 million.
So inflation
Do you know what I mean?
No, inflation is real. I'm not pretending that inflation is not real. But
that's why I ain't doing it. Because
Aye.
I hope. No, I know.
Brother, I
because
know,
life can happen. I hope I could deal with the money better in my hand, the 2.6 in my hand, better than I could the 10. Don't get me wrong. For the first 10 years,
It's
10,000
nice.
a month is more than 10 years. First 15 years, that 10,000 would be bliss. If it was a 15-year thing, then I would take the 10,000 a month because Yeah.
And you could still do a lot with £10,000.
Definitely.
You could do a whole league, man.
Definitely.
I probably wouldn't even spend the whole 10 grand. I think 5 grand of it I'll just put on the stocks one time. Boom, boom, boom. All them stocks that are giving me like 9% yield, 5.5% yield.
9% yield.
Go and look at fucking Vodafone right now. 9.38% yield. Go and look at
you're
it.
putting
Like,
stock in one company.
not one company. I'm saying there's like I've got a whole bunch of them. I've got a list of them that are knocking out yield at the moment, like 3%, 5%
But if you had
upwards.
2.9
You said
million,
9.
did already.
You said 9. Yeah, but then you lose it, innit? Something happens, it's gone.
No, you won't put 2.9 in, but if you had the 2.9, you could do it a lot. I have to wait for the next month so I can do more. Well, you could just do it in now.
But investment is meant to be long term.
Yeah, but long-term investment, you could still do long-term.
depends on the investment.
Yeah.
Yes, it depends.
You could do short-term
But
investment, and you could do long-term investment. And if you've got the money to do it now and invest now, why are you going to wait? And let's say that whatever that rate is now, in a month's time, when you've got the money to then reinvest again, it might be a different rate, and you might have lost money because you waited a month.
What would you do, Vahala?
I'll do the 2.9 million.
You got extra 300,000.
We're adding 300,000 from somewhere.
From somewhere.
300,000. Give it to me.
Bring money.
I would take the 2.6 million.
And why would you do that then?
Because I don't believe that I know I could die tomorrow.
Wow.
So I'm taking that money so that my family's sorted. Because, things like Nipsey have to happen,
For real though.
And that man thought he was going to probably live a long life.
Yeah, but you get
And,
the money,
and he died. That's
Well,
the way.
I don't know. Nipsey seemed like a smart guy. He seemed like he knew that was a possibility.
Yeah, and so you get your money up, and you,
So-
and you, as far as I'm concerned, that things can take you the next day. So I'd rather take the 2.6. So let's
imagine-
segue into that thing, though.
Imagine he grabs the 2.6 million all in one go and has a heart attack because he's so happy about it. Like that?
Yeah, but the money then goes to my family.
Fair enough.
So then, what's the problem?
Fair enough.
I said it's not about me; it's about my family.
It's not about me.
When you're earning that type of money, or when you're going into that type of money, it's about my family, not about me.
If I had 2.6 million, I know that I'd wake up with my daughter with one shank at my neck, like, Daddy.
If that's your type of daughter, then you've got now. Then
I'm raising a road, man. What are you talking about?
This man don't want to segue.
That's going to be the
when
name
it's
of
time
your
to
book.
segue, you know.
Raising the Road, man. No, yeah, I'm doing a segue. Give me the oaks. Because we are now going to discuss Nipsey Hussle. No, I don't want to dwell on it too long actually, because everybody's spoken about it. It's own news now. But I think
By the time it come around,
I was a fan. I know a lot of people were not the biggest fans of him or didn't know too much about him until recently. But one of the reasons I was a fan of Nipsey Hussle, who died recently due to a murder, was because of his work in the community. That's what I'll call it. He was very focused on trying to build up his society, teaching the youth about STEM and just business, property, land ownership. And I appreciated that. So I saw him as somebody that was good for the community. So that's one of the big reasons I was a big fan of Nipsey Hussle. There are a couple of discussions. If you want to talk about the conspiracy thing, then you go into that, and then I'll move on to the angle that I wanted to go on, because I didn't want to just cry about
no,
Nipsey
let's carry
Hussle
on.
for the
Let's
whole
carry
time.
on.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about that?
I'm not saying I don't want to, but you're saying that we must chat about it now.
No, I'm saying that there's two aspects. The question that I came up with, because I had no intention of just saying, yeah, Nipsey's great, and we will just talk about Nipsey for 10 minutes and that's that. We can. People, by all means, I don't want to stop anybody from bigging up Big Nipsey and saying what they appreciate about him or what they liked about him, especially you, Hazelann, as a guest. So if you have something to say, then say it. But I had I wanted to talk about his death. I thought of a question around it based on around it. I don't know if you watched the video that I put in the group. So I was going to talk about that.
Go on.
Hazelann, do you want to say anything about Nipsey before I get into this thing?
I think everyone said everything. So no.
Done been said already.
All right. So my thing is this then. Nipsey was from Crenshaw, LA, South Central, I think and it's a hood. It's a bad hood. And he made his money, and I don't know if I'm sure he moved out, but he bought land there. He was buying the shops and he was renting it out in the community where he used to hang out. Let's put it that way. Yes. Yeah. So he was always going back, building up these businesses, talking to the people. He was there in the flesh, in the middle of the hood. Mm-hmm. And this is where he got shot, right outside of his shop, in the hood, where he used to come up. So here's Noriega discussing something that he feels. So I'll play this. And
Oh yeah, I did see that.
You know what I noticed? That keeping it real might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always say, you know, you make money, you leave the hood, you come back to the hood, you invest in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Put your homies on, you do everything right, keeping it real. Well, that's exactly what Nipsey did. Nipsey went, he left the hood, came back. He didn't build a store in Beverly Hills in Malibu or anything like that. He built a store in his hood and kept it real, had his niggas around, had his people around. And guess what? Keeping it real got him. This is crazy. I bet it was somebody who looked just like him who did it. This guy played the game right. He did everything right. There was nothing. You never heard of him snitching. You never heard of him being a sucker. You never heard of him doing no bullshit. He played the game right. And where is he at? Keeping it real. I think that we was growing up, and I think keeping it real was actually keeping it wrong.
All right. So the question I have is, do you agree with that statement that if I think the four of us, we came up in what we would describe in London, at least in hood areas. So I don't know, in the big scheme of the world, maybe it's not hood, but for where we are, it's hood. There's bare areas.
Where did you come up?
I grew up in Stonebridge.
Oh God, the hood.
Yeah, that's hood, yeah, right. So let's include all five of us. We will grow up in hoods. Right? Let's all shift half a meter away from the hood girl.
If you see the puffer jacket she got the thing on her, man. I can see it from here now already.
So when you said the gun lean, she's like, is that? Let me show you the thing. If we did win these millions or whatever, would you feel to build up your community that you came from, knowing the problems that potentially could arise? Or would you say, listen, especially with those with families, it's not about me risking myself or my family in these places where I know people get shot and stabbed and murdered all the time. Like Simple Simon said, it's the people around you. If he won the money, he wasn't worried about outsiders. He was worried about the people in his circle, potentially.
Well, I mean, money complicates things. Always has, always will. I grew up in Stonebridge. My boyfriend is from Church Road.
Jesus.
We got 9s on them.
My daughter's first naming ceremony was in Church Road.
Yeah, so there's a bit of issues there, but we both want to start.
Understatement.
We both want to start a charity anyway, and it's going to be a charity for Harlesden that will help people from the area go to university. Well, it will do loads of different things. It will give people access to legal aid and the correct legal representation. It will show people how to get their kids into private school for free and how to get into university for free. It will it's kind of like a one-stop stuff that information that really rich people have at their disposal that they know that they wouldn't share in the hood.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. Yeah. I don't live in Stonebridge anymore. Mm-hmm. Quite far from it right now. But I've been privy to a lot of information, building contacts and stuff like that, and we're going back into the area where we're from to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's weird because my boyfriend can't be in certain places at certain times or what have you. Well, he don't care. He does not care. His daughter's mum is from an area where he's never supposed to be, and he'll go and pick up his daughter and all of that stuff. Oh, sorry, I was a bit too far away. Yeah, so he'll go and pick up his daughter and all of that, fully well knowing that if a wrong person sees him at the wrong time, they could be something. More than likely it will be something. And the same with us, just being in a relationship. Family events and stuff like that. Money don't even need to be involved, but when it comes to our wedding, it's more than likely going to be a few issues and what have you.
That's interesting.
My point being is that
Romeo and Juliet.
My point being is that the threat of violence or death is never going to stop us from doing what we need to do for ourselves and for our community. And that's just the end of it.
Bang. People
can kill us. Before Stonebridge and Church Road was fighting each other, we were fighting the police, you know? Yeah. So it just comes, it's cyclical. By next time, 50 years time, Stonebridge and Church Road could be together and they're up against the Graham Park and the Mozart lot who knows? It's all foolishness at the end of the day, and your life can get taken at any time. So why not do what's right when you're alive?
And whilst you're here, yeah.
Okay, so all right, that's a resounding. I'm doing what's best for my community, regardless of any threat to me and mine.
Yep.
All right, from Hazelann. Mr. Wolf, you seem like you have an answer. Speak on it.
Boy, you know, there'll always be casualties of war. That's the way how I see it. You know, I see it like we're living in a concrete jungle. And I was having a conversation about this just the other day with a few people, including family. You know, hypothetically speaking, I got the word out. If I had that 2.6 million, or if I had a large amount of money to make a big difference, it wouldn't even be a debate. I'm going back and I'm trying my best to change lives to the positive. You know, I would do whatever I've always looked at Brixton, for example. Excuse me. I've always looked at Brixton and looked at the gentrification that's going on there and said, if I had the means, I would buy the whole place and give it to my people. One of my good friends, he owned maybe about 6 or 7 businesses in and around Brixton. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of inspired me to want to do the same, you know. So it wouldn't even be a debate for me. I would go back home, back to the ghetto, and do whatever I can to build my community up. I don't care if I become someone that is in the line of fire. I don't care.
Okay, martyr number 2. All right, so Simple Simon.
It's about changing lives at the end of the day.
It is, but
you know what I mean, and you've got to.
Whose life is most important?
Well, I look at some of the people that inspired me. You know, people. You know, your Martin Luther Kings and your Thomas Sankaras and all these kind of people that actually put themselves in the line of fire, knowing that they're helping not just communities but a large amount of people.
They're all dead
long past the time that they die.
They're all dead.
I understand that they're dead.
And has the situation of the people really changed?
Well,
yes.
I think that there's a lot of positive.
In real terms.
Yes, of course it has. A lot of positive has come from these people putting their lives on the line. Do you know what I mean? It's like Nipsey Hussle, for example. You know, he is going to inspire a generation. He's not here now. And unfortunately, his children are not going to see their father grow up. But I believe that he has inspired so many people to try their best to get the best out of their life, even in the darkest times. So, yes, I would put myself in the line of fire. I don't business.
Simple.
Probably not. I've once upon a time I would have said yeah, definitely, but I've been thinking about it and I've been thinking about it and I've been thinking about it, and the dream of the hood is to be able to make it out of the hood. That's the dream. That's the motivating factor for you pushing to do whatever it is you do. Turning around to come back to the hood after you've left, I don't understand. I'm not necessarily.
You understand?
I'm not saying that you have to forget the people that are there. I wouldn't say forget the people that are there, but this whole idea of coming back and fixing up the old neighborhood and all the rest of it, you can't. In a funny kind of way, the same conversation we've had about the money, like where you said if somebody isn't built for it and you give them the 2.6 million, they end up broke because they're not built for it. You go back and fix up the neighborhood, those people are not built for it. They'll fuck it back up again.
So it's like you give them new clothes, but you can't change their mind.
You can't change their mind because all they know is that.
That's no faith, man.
It's not about no faith.
People,
it's the reality of it.
No, there's many people that are from ghetto backgrounds and they make fantastic individuals based on a little bit of help that they've been given.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm not saying this is in isolation. Like it's a write-off for everybody. There are people that will come through. The problem is the number of people that will come through are less than the number of people that will fuck up the thing.
I think I wouldn't necessarily go back to the hood and build homes or anything like that. That's not somewhere I would choose because it doesn't seem like a smart, if you're looking at it as a business, it's not a viable business aspect for me to go and build a luxury hotel in Stonebridge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, I think education's the key.
Yeah,
And
no doubt about
for
that.
me, I'm not looking to make money off an education, which is why I'm saying I'm not going back to the hood to build up businesses. I'm going back to the hood
To offer
with
services.
a charity.
Yeah.
To offer services, because that's the only way you're going to get out of it, and the only way you're going to make a difference in, as you say, the mind and in changing it. But
No, I hear that.
just going back to the hood just to say hello.
No,
just means that no, but
going back to do something. That's
no, it
that's the
doesn't.
thing.
You don't have to be going back to do something. You can be going back just to see your old godmother's friend or what have you. Somebody
not the
knows
question.
that you're in the area,
Not the
and
question.
they'll. I know you're saying that's not the question, but that's the reality. All I'm saying is that if you're that person and you're going back to the hood, you can just be there to pick up a takeaway quick time, and your life's on the line. That's how it is. If somebody has phoned and somebody's seen you drive, and I've seen that in play when people have phoned somebody else and been like, this person's there and should they do this right now? And that person's not knowing that in 2 minutes they could be dead. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a difference between when you do have money, as I say, you are a target for certain people. You always will be. And those certain people are generally, and this is a generalization, will be the people in the hood or the people who don't have the money but have access to illegal weapons or what have you. I think if you go back, or if even if you don't go back but you try to educate and you try to help, that's what's really important, because you're changing people's perspective and you're improving the community.
I mean, one thing that I would say is you come out of the hood and the hood tends to follow you. So a lot of people left Brixton and went to Croydon, and that was all 20 years ago, and now look at Croydon. It's worse than what Brixton is now. You know what I mean? So you can move out.
In what respect? For somebody that doesn't know what you're on about.
Okay,
Like
Brixton 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago.
I wouldn't have
even.
gone through there, true.
You understand? Brixton,
Not too
as it
often.
was back
I
then.
loved Brixton
Yeah,
20 years ago.
I
But
loved
it's-
my
it-
town, innit? But the point that I'm making is that it was
Gentrification.
it was generally a dangerous place to be.
But it's
and
gentrification.
whatever it is, but the point that I'm making is that people left the ghetto to move out into a certain place.
Left or
you
pushed?
understand? Whatever the case may be.
No, it's not, because it makes a massive difference.
Okay.
It makes a massive difference.
But the point that I'm making is that people left and the ghetto came to follow them, innit?
No.
So what I'm saying is that Simple Simon saying that he would he wouldn't go back, but more time the ghetto tends to follow you anyway.
No,
but
because
I
he's
think-
got
I
enough money
think
to
that's
go
what-
far enough.
I don't know, because our parents left Brixton to go to Croydon, and they had money to buy their house there.
Yeah, that's you. But a lot of people, probably in your area from Brixton, has now been pushed out to Croydon area because of the fact that it's no longer it's not
Recently.
London. It's not London, and that's the ghetto that's followed them. Not because they went to go to Croydon, it's because they was pushed to Croydon. The same way there's
Recently.
certain areas where gentrification hits, what they tend to do is to take out the ghetto people from there so they can make it look nice and pretty for the people that they want to spend money on,
And they put them
push them
all-
in another place and make that place a ghetto. So it's not a case that the ghetto followed you. It's you thought you was getting away in a way, thinking, or maybe it was a place that they could afford, yeah, because it was at a cheaper rate, because it wasn't in the place that was expensive. And then now people have been pushed to that area because of the fact it's not expensive.
Yeah, okay, that-
So it's not a case of the ghetto was necessarily following you, because if you had enough money, as I think Hazelann was saying and Stav was saying, you would get far enough away that they couldn't. There's no way they're gonna be able to get you. Basically,
Well, I think in time,
Catch me, bitches.
these
You can.
things, the inner city is the inner city.
Okay, all right.
But that's the point.
You get me?
Listen,
And Raheem Sterling is one example. I think even Rio Ferdinand, who's gone back to where they've come from to set up organizations and to help the youth,
Yeah.
you know, and I just wouldn't be able to turn over.
yeah, but
I just want
away.
the organizations they set up haven't been much indifferent to what Hazelann's saying. Whereas you're giving educational revenue to the people, if that makes sense. So yes, they've done that, but this is we're talking about going back into the hood, as in, like you said, going to set up actual shop fronts and employing people. and all them
Whatever
kind
it
of
is you set up, you're there some of the time.
You see
It's
what I'm
not
saying?
you haven't. It's not a satellite thing where you organize
Oh, okay. So now you're
different
putting
people.
stipulations.
Well, that's the point of the question. It's not that
I'm just asking
because you can
because my answer's now different.
because it could always be you could help. You can always say, let me employ 10 smart people to go there and do the thing whilst I sit here in my place because I'm rich and I can do that. It's not that.
Yeah, I think he was unique in that he was visiting the shop every other day, so they knew his patterns, and he was there. So he was almost like an employee being there, which then also made him a bit more of a target because he was there every other day, and they knew that's where he was going to be.
But it also caused the positive affirmation that I can do this too. So, Wahala, what would you do?
All right, with that stipulation you put there now,
stipulation.
I'm just not going back then. Before I was gonna say I'll set up something there, and I just won't go back there every so often. A bit like Jay-Z, where you just got things everywhere, you don't necessarily see him rolling through the hood. Whereas now you're saying that I'd have to be rolling through there. Nah, I'm not doing that. And plus, to be honest, if I got rich, I'm not investing in the manor before I invest in my people.
But where are your people?
Nigeria.
Oh.
So I will invest in that, even though I don't live there, I never have lived there. I'll probably invest more in them than I would the hood. Reason why I'm saying that is because as much as we don't have opportunity, we have opportunity here to be able to make something a lot more than people in back home do. So I'd probably take my money and invest in people back home. And
is there not that threat back in Nigeria?
No, I'm not disputing there isn't, but I'm prepared to take that threat.
No, I was asking.
I'm probably more prepared to take that threat there than I am to take that threat here.
Oh,
does that make sense? So I would definitely, if it's the case that I feel, look, I'm going to be in a situation where things might happen to me and I've got a family, especially if I've got a family, I'm not risking my family for the man on road. I'm not doing it. Because that same man on road won't invest that. And I know it's a bad thing to say you should have people around you and you should be positive influence. I can be a positive influence from a far away. I can be a positive influence every time I'm on the radio talking about where I've come from and how I've done it. I could be a positive influence every time you see me on an interview saying, I come from this area and this is the way that I made it. And if people want to follow that path, this is what you should do. I don't have to be sitting down in Dalston, Kingsland, getting fish from the market. I don't have to do that.
But in reality, you're either built for it or you're not. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not a hood now. So what am I going to go and pretend like I'm not? I have a affiliation to my area, but not to the point where I feel like I should be risking my life for it. I never risked my life for it when I was a teenager. When people were saying that, when people was killing each other for being in this postcode, I'm not doing it now when I'm rich.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So that was my
What about you?
What would I do? I'm not putting myself at risk. So I'll do it. I'll do the satellite thing. So I wouldn't be in the middle of the thing.
But
so I'd be away.
You can't do that.
Yes. No. I said the question is, are you in or out? So I'm saying I'm out. Okay. I would do my thing, but I'd be out. I wouldn't be in there. The reason I was trying to do it is that the further in you are, the more hands-on you are, the better it is for your community. So the further out, yes, you're helping, but you're not helping as much. So I would have to do it that way because I'm not willing to risk my family's well-being, i.e. me not being around, because I actually feel I contribute. So I'm not willing to risk that just to help other people. But it depends on my age as well and how old my children are. If this is a 39-year-old me saying this, if there's a 79-year-old me saying this, and I would still have the same yeah,
okay,
and I was there, then I would do it because it's like I'm ready to die.
Ready to die,
yeah.
Biggie Smalls style.
Yeah, because I always said if I was billionaire, and I always said the same thing. So you can go back a few episodes or about 6 months ago. I said if I ever won stupid money in the lottery, if I ever became a billionaire somehow, I said that I'd be dead within a few years because the amount of stuff I would try and do in Nigeria specifically, it'd kill me.
Okay.
I said that straight. I'll be dead. So that is my Nipsey Hussle take that they'll play when I'm dead. They'll kill me. There's no way that they're gonna allow me to do what I would try and do in Nigeria specifically and Hackney. They'll kill me, man. They'll kill me.
Let me ask this question then, because this was another question that was asked.
Is it completely different?
Not completely, right, yeah. Right. But if you had, this is just a mad question, innit? You got a red pill, you got the blue pill, yeah. Red pill says that you will live until you're 80 whatever. You'll have your kids, grandkids, and whenever, and you'll live long and you'll live a happy life. A nice family life, and you won't really affect many people around you, but those in your family circle. The blue pill says that you will die at the age of 55. You'll have your kids.
Red pill.
You wouldn't really know your grandkids, but you will affect the lives of millions and millions.
Red pill.
And millions. In the way that Malcolm X, Martin Luther King,
Red pill.
Thomas Sankara, and all these people, what they tried and failed to do, you managed to do. So you're not just affecting your close circle, you're actually affecting millions and millions of people. Your people.
What's the first pill? Sorry, I was on the phone.
Red pill.
Red pill
No,
is,
what does it do?
you live till you're 80 and you live a relatively quiet life, not affecting anybody but the people in your immediate
That's
circle.
not what you said. You said you would live a very happy life until you're 80, and you look after your family, and your family's all happy, and you get to see your grandkids and your blah blah.
Because that's the difference.
Because it makes a difference.
Yeah. So you like the red pill. Yes, you have a family and you have kids and you see your grandkids. The blue pill, you live till you're 55. You have your kids. You don't really have a relationship with your grandkids, but you you are affecting the lives of millions and millions and millions of black people and people that you are trying your best to help.
Let's do this quick because we're running out of time. There's somebody that we have to call to talk about the topic. So
You know what I would do.
I don't know what you do,
You
Mr.
do the
Family Man.
red.
I'm dying at 55 and
Yeah.
helping those people, man. No long thing.
It's only 2 years away. Wow.
You're a fool.
All right. So
With the fact that that you're going to change lives, and Malcolm X and all these people tried and failed, but you had managed to do what they tried to do.
all right, Mr. Wolf is going for 55 red pill. That's the red one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Blue. That's blue.
blue.
Oh, is it blue?
So
Okay.
all right. So Everton. Simple Simon.
It's sad. But
Liverpool. Everton.
it's sad, but probably Everton as well.
Why is it sad?
Because I'm foregoing the possible relationship with my grandchildren for everybody else. So it's sad.
Jesus.
Yeah, but
It is what it is, isn't it? You said something.
sacrifice.
Man can be sad. You can
it's
what
sad.
Okay.
It's sad, but I will take that because I think the generations after me will benefit more off of me doing the blue pill thing than me doing the red pill thing.
All right. So Everton, the blue side of Liverpool is winning. So, big Wahala.
I'd do red pill
Okay, Liverpool in the house. Why?
because you're benefiting millions.
No, blue pill is 55 death and
Benefiting
millions. And
Oh.
the red pill
He's 80 years of age.
80
No,
years.
you both said you were blue.
No.
Yeah.
He's
Yes,
blue.
you
He's blue.
Yeah.
No, he's
I said red.
You said blue because you then said
They-
Everton.
I
and
haven't even said
Everton.
anything yet.
He hasn't said anything. Yeah,
You did. You said blue after he said red.
No, he hasn't spoken.
Okay.
They both said blue, and blue is 55. So they're happy to do the same thing that you're happy to do.
So you're
Oh,
blue.
so you're not going to have the relationship with your grandkids?
Yeah.
He's saying that was sad because he won't be able to have the relationship because he's picked the
Okay.
blue
Well,
pill.
I'm still Liverpool, but I'd do the 55.
So you're Everton.
No,
You're Everton.
I'm never Everton. Liverpool.
You're a Liverpool
but
supporter?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
knew there was something about you, though. I knew it.
Meet your counterpart here.
That's it.
Alright, so
People
you're-
that live
so
in
you're all
London that
blue.
support Liverpool. So yeah, blue, and Wahala, you are.
Why let's red? Because what's the point? If everybody else is blue, then I don't have to do it.
No,
So red.
come no.
Got you in judge, my friend. Somebody else can do their job. Go and die while I live my life happy. I'm red. I'm blatantly red.
You're red. Why?
Because I'm a selfish person and I want to look after my family and I want to be around my family. I don't want to die early. That's not something that I want to think about. I don't want to die early for others.
Okay.
Yeah, but
let's
then
leave
you'd
it there.
know all the secrets to life.
What? No, when I'm dead.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I was thinking about it. I don't know.
Nah, I'm. If you lot are happy to die early for the sake of others, then you're good for you lot, and I commend you all for it. But I want to see my kids. I want to see my grandkids.
You see your kids?
Can I just finish talking? I want to see my kids. I want to see my grandkids. And I want to live that happy life that you said I was going to live.
Okay.
And I have no problem living a happy life.
No.
And if I live my happy life, hopefully I can pass on some knowledge on to those people. And maybe they might be the ones that want to sacrifice themselves to the gods. I don't know. But I ain't doing it.
All right. And Stavros will be Everton. I'll take the blue pill. The only
Don't ask me to look after your people.
Yeah, the only massive regret is I waited till late-ish on in life before I had my first child. So dying at 55 means that they're not even that
It's
old.
all
They won't even be that
hypothetical,
old.
isn't it?
They'll be.
How old are you?
I'll be 40 next month.
That's not bad. And your daughter's
2.
that's nice.
So
She'll be 17.
Yeah, it's young, man.
That is young.
It's
That's
like
the time. That's the time when she needs her father the most.
Most rebellious.
So
I'm saying I'm selfish.
That is the regret, and she
Yeah.
might be the last one as well. So I might have one that's 15 or 14, and I'm dead.
You might have won that too.
Goddamn 47.
Goddamn foul.
So that is the biggest regret, but I would still do it because it's millions and
Million.
yeah. If my continent is hopefully I can live with that. I can live with that. I can
Yeah.
live with that, or I can die for that.
Improving the lives of millions. I could too.
I can die for that. As long as it's a long lasting thing. I don't want it to be a generational thing where I die. A generation is helped, and then after that, they mess up the game, and then
I don't trust.
No, I
and
don't
then
think that can
100
happen.
years down the line, they flop the game.
I don't
again.
trust,
the
man.
white man will remove you from the internet.
I don't trust.
I'm not on Wikipedia. No, because so all right, we got a phone call to make. In fact, make the phone call now.
Are they expecting it?
Yes, they're expecting the phone call, and let me turn this up. And then we'll discuss a topic, but I want her to hear what we're saying, anyways. I think it's the right topic. There's a couple of things I spoke to her about actually.
Hello.
What's
Yo.
up? Hello.
Can you hear us? Hello?
Well, then there's no point in the thing anymore. Your phone is rubbish, you know. You need to give that phone to somebody else. Yeah, it's not coming through.
Yeah, but she can hear us. Oh, it's not coming through this anymore.
No. Because you put it on loudspeaker.
Hello? Can you hear us now?
She can't hear us.
Hello?
Your phone is the one, man.
Established, living like savage.
Hey. Can
Good thing that weren't porn, bro.
Can you give the phone to? Can
you imagine?
bro? Can you take off your case and call the number that he will give you?
How long's the
in your
phone call?
face?
Let's make sure it's not a long.
Has it ever happened to anyone where they've forgotten they've had porn
Oh,
on their
how, porn?
Yeah, because I just mentioned porn.
Drake.
It was me that mentioned porn.
Anyone had porn on the what?
you've forgotten you've had it on your phone, gone to give it to someone or gone to open it, and then it's just been, all porn noises and stuff.
No,
No.
people have been sending these videos, innit? And at the end of the video, that kind of porno sound comes out. It's
Oh,
mad.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's scare people.
You'll be in a public place, man.
I've never watched porn on a video on a phone. Yeah.
You're saying that my phone's rubber. Why don't you use yours then?
Because since the new phone, that's why I bought my old phone. The new iPhone, you can't do once you start plugging in this thing. Yeah. Call the thing.
yeah,
Once you start plugging it.
Now send a free text to the person you're calling.
Are you sure? Have I put the thing right?
That is crazy. Yeah, I don't watch it on the phone.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
What? Why?
Because I don't have a TV in my bedroom,
Okay.
and I've got the phone there,
Fair enough.
nice and easy.
Is it therapeutic?
No,
Or is it entertainment?
yeah.
What are we talking about?
Porn.
Hey, hold on. Let me get involved. What is this now we're talking about now?
No, it's because I've said to people before that I find it entertaining, and they're like, "What do you mean by that?" And I'm like, the same way you would sit down and watch a film, I will watch porn.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to look at things, and when you turn your head to the side, and you think, "Is that really happening?"
Yeah.
If you could script a porn, in fact, are we calling?
Carry on.
No, because you need to call the person. So let's not get into another question if we got the person ready to call him.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, you can hear us now, yeah?
I heard you the first time.
Oh,
So why weren't you answering?
I did. Maybe you guys didn't hear me.
His phone's
Nah,
rubbish.
man, it's your phone, bro.
they were disrespecting me in that.
All right. So this is Tops, previous guest, sincerely Tops. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you guys doing?
Blessed.
We
blessed.
need to pick up the platform host of Black Canvas.
Yes, host of Black Canvas TV. How's that going?
It's going extremely well. Extremely well. I'm really proud of it. We'll be wrapping up the season pretty soon, but yeah, it's going really well.
I got a beef with you though.
Why?
Why are you dropping the same day as us though?
What did you say?
Why are you dropping on the Tuesday like us though? Why are you doing that for? Disrespect.
Do you know what? It's so difficult to try and find a day to do, because everyone is doing so much these days.
Yeah.
And like, you don't want to do it on a day that somebody else is doing theirs, and you don't. So yeah,
So you
if
just
you guys are a
disrespect us.
podcast, we're a show, so it's different.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, we want you to do the best that you can do, man. So
No,
whatever day is the best day for you, you do it.
We're riding.
Yeah, we know you got your back already, Tops. So Stabs called you.
No.
Stabs called you, and obviously he's got a reason why he's calling you.
All right.
Yep.
As we speak right now, another friend of the podcast, who maybe we might even be able to call them, is doing a comedy show. Is this the one that you had? Is this the one we're discussing actually, Tops? I can't even remember now. We spoke about a couple of things. Is this the one?
Yeah, I can't remember the actual date. I might even try to look for it now.
No.
Yeah.
It's
today.
It's happening right now. Griff, friend of the podcast, is on the what do you call it? The panel?
Yeah, he's on the lineup, man.
He's on the lineup, and we were gonna holler at him as well to discuss it. But he's like, bruv, I'm actually at the show right now. So if I have a spare 5 minutes, I'll let you know. So he hasn't got back to us as of yet. But it's Jamaica versus Africa comedy show. So
Wahala.
yeah, called Wahala.
Which is
of all things.
They don't pay me nothing, man.
So I think I've been to one in Hackney Empire maybe a long time ago. Oh no, somewhere in West London where basically you have people from Jamaica. I think in this case it was the Caribbean. At least they fleshed it out a little bit, and they make their jokes. And they what is he?
He's free now as well.
He's free now. Bro, get the second auxiliary code, please, and we can plug them both in.
We want it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to use your phone. So yeah, they make jokes about Africans, and then Africans make jokes about the Caribbeans, and then I think the crowd participation, we joke and we laugh about it, and outcome is there's a winner. It's all bants, it's all for laughs. I don't think it's serious,
just like it is with our Ghanaian friends. We love you, really.
Yeah. But some people don't like these kind of jokes, namely Sincerely Tops. So she's going to tell us what issue she has with it and why she feels this is older. I don't know. Let me not speak on her behalf. You talk to the people.
Do you want her to say now before Griff comes in?
I just think it's the most childish and juvenile and like brain-numbing type of comedy you could ever do. And on a more serious note, I feel like a lot of it is internalized anti-blackness because it's not funny. It's not a joke. And I feel like a lot of people use comedy as a way to really talk about how they really feel. Like, why would you, as a grown man, think Africa versus the Caribbean, whatever, it is something to promote? The last time I went to anything like that, I was probably 18.
So about 25 years ago, okay.
No. yeah, maybe. But more seriously, I feel like it's internalized anti-blackness, and people don't really, a lot of the time, don't actually want to be honest about where these jokes come from, because they're saying things that are very offensive, and not just offensive, but they're anti-black. And I think trying to kind of dress it up as jokes, to me, is an issue, because you don't actually get to the root of the issue. Like, we recently did something similar. We spoke about diaspora wars recently on the show.
Griff, hold on there. Griff, hold on. Sorry, Tops, you can continue. Griff, you hold on there. We got somebody else on the phone, and she's saying how juvenile you're at right now. So we'll let her finish before we let you say your piece. Hopefully you can hear her.
Oh, okay. What? Who's juvenile? Me?
I can't hear her.
No, Tops. One of the comedians that's on the show is on the other line. Unfortunately, the two of you can't hear each other, which is a shame. But when you play back the podcast, you will hear what each other's had to say.
Right.
So we're gonna let you finish Tops first. So Sincerely Tops, you finish saying what you're saying, and then we're gonna allow the comedian to say his piece as well. So go for it.
Right. I mean, what I will first off start by saying is that for me, I generally don't feel like in comedy anything really should be off limits. I'll start off by saying that. But however, in some of these Africa versus whoever, I think a lot of the jokes continue to perpetuate very harmful anti-blackness in our community, and that does nothing for the community. And also, it's just not funny. It isn't funny. It's childish. And I don't see why somebody as a grown person, grown man, grown woman would find that funny. And I don't see what the appeal is. Personally, I feel like those kind of things appeal to kids. Like, when I was in uni, it was hilarious. It was funny. But then when you really think about it, and as I just said earlier, we spoke about this briefly on the show recently. We were talking about diaspora wars and talking about the conflict between Africans and Caribbeans and where that comes from. And these jokes continue to just push that narrative, continue to push that divide, and I don't see what you get out of it. personally, these shows, I feel like they're easy to kind of put together and you'll get your 1-2 laughs. But really, as a comedian, like, what kind of credibility are you really getting from that?
Goddamn, Tubbs. Okay.
I'm reloaded.
Goddamn.
Sorry, I'm in my house. I'm comfortable.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
If it was really funny, though, would that be okay?
Tubbs?
If it was really funny and everybody found it hilarious, would it be okay?
I didn't hear that. I kind of heard it, but not too. I can't. It's too faint.
If it's really funny, would it be okay?
If what is really funny?
If the comedy was really good, really funny, does that then make it okay? Does the content allow, make it okay?
Well, if the joke is funny, the joke is funny. That doesn't mean that it isn't offensive to some people, and that doesn't mean that it isn't anti-blackness.
Okay.
But then,
I'm not disputing if the joke is funny. If it's funny, it's funny. But I personally don't find jokes that continue to push this divide or push anti-black narratives. I don't find those things funny.
So then, do we? Sorry, I'm not sure whether to speak into the phone or the
Always
mic.
speaking to the back.
So then, does that go against your the kind of proclamation that nothing should be off limits when it comes to comedy?
No, because I'm not going to find everything in the world funny.
So then, as a comedian, aren't they allowed to be able to do that if like 50% do find it funny?
I would argue, well, like I said, I'm a grown person, and for me, this kind of comedy was hilarious to me in college and uni. But I feel like as I've gotten older, comedy like that, I don't feel it's not funny. It isn't. To say jokes that continue to push this narrative or like.
She gone.
Hello?
I don't find it funny. I'm not saying people don't find it funny, but personally, and I know there are a lot of people that agree with me, it's not funny. It's internalized anti-blackness.
Okay.
And here we are in the UK as black people facing so many issues with racism, with prejudice, like with microaggressions, all these different things. And within our own community, we are tearing each other down by doing these stupid jokes that don't go anywhere.
Okay. Griff.
Yep.
Did you hear all of that?
Some of it, but not all.
Okay. All right. So,
summarize it, Stav. Go on. You're very good at that.
So basically, the question has been asked, or it has been put forward that this is a juvenile and irresponsible kind of show.
And anti-black.
And anti-black. The jokes that you're making are bringing down our community because they're showing anti-blacks, and the jokes you're making stem from a place of what people actually feel as well. So what you actually being on stage, I'm assuming you've come off the stage now, yeah?
Yeah, so this would be a weird show for people in the crowd. But yeah.
You get me? Of course you've come off stage. I hope you had a good one. Let us know.
Oh yeah, I won. I won my battle, so there you go. Me fire.
Yeah, tell us how the show goes. How does the show go? Is it an actual battle, one-on-one, or what? How does it go?
So the show goes, so you have one comedian who just does their set. Doesn't have to be about culture, whatever. They just do their 10 minutes. Then another comedian does their 10 minutes. And then after that, us two comedians go back and forth on jokes for 3 minutes. Just back and forth. Okay. Now, those jokes can either be about culture or the jokes can be about the other comedian, just directly. You could just cuss their shoes if you wanted. You could cuss their mum if you wanted. But it's just you are representing Team Jamaica and the other person is representing Team Africa. Then it's up to you how deep you want to go with your jokes or what direction you want to take your jokes. So if you want it, you can go on stage and not... I'm Team Jamaica. I could go on stage and not make one joke about Africans. I made some jokes for Africans, but for me, the jokes were light-hearted. Jokes are nothing too deep, because I have to tell a joke that I feel comfortable telling. So, and it wasn't natural to me. I didn't grow up in an area where you had that kind of Caribbean versus African thing anyway. So it was quite counterintuitive to me to think of a joke or go back to when I was at school and think of things I said. Like, that just didn't happen when I grew up. So my jokes were more to do with kind of current stories or things that are going on in the world and stuff, and just taking the piss out of those kind of things and adding them, turning those on their head or whatever. So, and then the other jokes are more just in reply to jokes that I know are going to come about Jamaicans. So,
okay.
All right. So Griff, what's your view on people when they say that, it's irresponsible, it's juvenile,
anti-black,
and it's anti-black? These kind of shows. What's your views on that?
I mean, it's taking comedy seriously. It's like listening to music on mute. You're not doing it properly. It's a joke. Just laugh in it. And if you don't like it, guess what? There is more comedy on TV now than ever before. Go on Netflix. There's a special every 30 minutes. There's a new special coming out. So if you don't like that type of comedy, watch something else. You've got to take responsibility of the things that you're taking into your life. So it'd be weird going to a music concert, like going to Adele, and sitting there going, I don't even like Adele. I don't know why people like Adele. This is crazy that people like Adele. I'm going to sit here and be mad that people here enjoy Adele. No, just switch it off. Go listen to music you like listening to. And you can't get upset that people like certain things that you don't. That's just how the world is. That's just how I view it. So the same way that I go on stage and I tell a joke, I don't know if it's going to be funny or not until it comes out my mouth. Now, some people may laugh, and I go, okay, they find that funny. I could tell that same joke 20 minutes later in a different club. No one laughs. What am I meant to do? Throw that joke away now?
But are you reinforcing...
It's just the risk I take each time I open my mouth and tell a joke. And so, but I will say this as well. So it's not for people to not be offended. I'm not saying because I tell a joke, you must accept everything I say. But, don't use too much energy to follow things that you don't like. That's all I'd say.
Okay.
Mike.
But could you be guilty of reinforcing negative stereotypes? And can you see where certain stereotypes shouldn't be perpetuated or should just be left by the by? Like they used to say about those racist white comics that would make jokes about a Sambo or what's that? Not Marmalade guy. The Gollywog. Thank you.
Sinn Féin.
Could you be...
You make the Gollywog sound lovely, by the way. Wonderful.
Are you responsible as a comedian and as a professional to make sure that you're not perpetrating stereotypes and you're not continuing something that's negative towards a certain race of people?
I mean, okay, so I'm not going to do the thing where a lot of comedians say, just take my joke and stuff. Yeah, you are. You're responsible for everything that comes out of your mouth. And so, and I feel that any joke I tell, if we had to talk about it, that particular joke, we may not agree, but you'd understand the perspective I come from with that joke. That's not just about the stereotypes, it's about anything. But I think also in the world, we use stereotypes sometimes in the way for us to understand the world, just to process the world, understand it quickly. Some jokes really do rely on a stereotype and stuff. Like a stereotype for me, I'm black, I'm from Essex. I tell jokes about my girlfriend and then chuck in there, oh, by the way, she's black. And that will make the crowd laugh. Now, why are they laughing? Because they've already got this stereotype in my head that, right, he's a black guy from Essex. I thought his girlfriend would be white. They're like, oh, no, she's black. That shocked me. That's funny. But I can't now go to them, oh, well, you shouldn't be on stereotypes. They wouldn't have got the joke if the stereotype didn't exist. So sometimes you need these stereotypes, you need these paradigms to, if anything, joke about them and break those stereotypes down in a way. So if any comic would see another comedian joke about stereotypes, and if they go the easy way, yeah, you might get a laugh in the crowd, but other comedians looking at you like, nah, hack, that was easy.
So Griff, are you saying there's no social responsibility in comedy?
You saying
Pardon?
Are you saying there's no social responsibility in comedy? It's for free for all.
No social responsibility in comedy.
There is, but I don't know. Has anyone? I mean, there is. You'd hope your crowd know it's a joke. And the biggest punishment you can do as an audience is not laugh if you don't find it funny. That's the biggest punishment
I think what you're doing, Griff, is you're focusing so much on the show as opposed to the wider implications of the show. It's just, you're just thinking about, when I'm on the show, the jokes I'm making, you should get the jokes. Forget the jokes themselves. Just the idea that there is a Jamaica versus Africa. Just that in and of itself.
Just the formation of the platform.
No, I guess it's the way of getting as many black comedians on stage as at once, isn't it? If you do Jamaica versus Europe, then you've taken away the opportunity.
So why is Kevin J always fucking there then?
Huh?
Why is Kevin J always fucking there then?
And White Yardie?
Hey, it's not this one.
Sincerely, Tops, are you still there?
I don't need a booking. I can't do it. But no, I don't know. I don't know. It's something that I'll have to think about, and I'll come back with a more concise answer. But it's a fair question. And something that has crossed my mind, if I'm being totally honest. Like when I was first asked to do the show, I was like, don't really feel comfortable joking about.
How comes you guys forget about the rest of the Caribbean as well? What's all that about?
Pardon?
How come you forget about the rest of the Caribbean?
The same way Nigerians forget about the rest of Africa. It doesn't matter.
Can I ask you a quick question though, Griff? Quick question.
Tops, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear this. Okay, wicked.
Let me ask you a quick question before you go, because I'm assuming you got to go at some point. Who did you beat? And where did they come from?
Sorry, so that comedian called Kazim Jamal, and his African side's Nigerian.
Oh my God, what kind of failure is this?
All right, Tops, you got my man on the phone right here. Is there anything you want to tell him directly, and you can talk to each other maybe?
I said earlier, in terms of comedy, there are a lot of things that comedians do or write material on that could be seen as offensive, but, it's comedy, it's whatever. But, you as a human being, whether that's something that you wish to engage with. And personally, stuff like Jamaica versus Africa and all that kind of stuff, I just feel like it's just not for me. It's childish. Obviously, there are instances where it's lighthearted, don't get me wrong. I have friends that are Caribbean, and sometimes we might go back and forth with silly little things. But shows like that, like I said, I just feel like it's childish, and I just feel like it's embarrassing a little bit to me. In 2019, we're still doing shows like that. But if that's what you choose to do, very nice, good for you, Godspeed. But it's just not for me.
That's fine. No, it's not just our culture. There's other shows. I saw India versus Pakistan show, and this is in the middle of the Kashmir, where there's conflict in Kashmir, and they're doing India versus Pakistan and stuff. But they came away from that thinking it was a good thing to get people in the same room from different cultures and to say, hey, look, let's just all join together and have a laugh at ourselves and each other. And
that is definitely quite rare, actually, getting Indians and Pakistanis, especially considering what's going now, and getting them in a room and laughing about it. I mean... Yeah,
so I don't think anyone comes away from Jamaica versus Africa thing and go, you know what, I fucking hate Africans. No one comes away with that, I hate Jamaicans. Everyone comes away with that. That's a laugh.
Yeah, but a lot of these jokes stem from that.
I do get it being immature, especially if you've grown up with that at school, and it probably brings back a lot of deeper things for people. And I'll probably, from what my knowledge from the outside, especially Africans, because I just know Jamaicans don't give Africans an easy time at school. So,
do you think? I suppose this question could go to either of you. Do you think that maybe because of the race issues we have and where we come from as a people, we have a tendency to overlook certain things? Like, two of my favourite comedians, one's Russell Peters, one's Ali Wong, and she's Chinese. Russell Peters, Indian, Canadian, and they spend their whole show, they spend their whole shows just slating their own kind. And Ali Wong does it. She slates women and motherhood and all of that stuff. I find her hilariously funny, and maybe that's because I'm the lowest common denominator. But or is it a point that we as black people, because we have so much internal anxiety around race, that we take certain things that shouldn't be too seriously?
Yeah, no, I think there's an argument both ways. Definitely, there's an argument both ways. It's definitely evidence that we can get so sidetracked and knocked off balance and we kind of let everyone know these are the things that upset us. So if you do this, then I'm losing it. And it happens every day at work and in life, you know, the whole kind of microaggressions of racism that happens. You know, they know they're going to throw you off balance. Your colleagues are throw you off balance, but just something a bit weird. That you just let everyone else, what's it called? I can't remember the word it's called. There's a word for it. Dog whistling, that's it. Where no one else picks up on it in the room, but they know because you're black, you're going to pick up on this thing you've done, and if you bring it up, you're going to look like you're crazy. So I think sometimes, yeah, we let little things for ourselves, and people know it, and then there's other times where it's like, no, we should be more serious about this, and we should, you know, talk about it. And
okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I think. Can I just chime in?
Please,
just to
sincerely, you
answer
say
her
your last
question?
thing, and then both of you will say your goodbyes. So sincerely, go on.
I just wanted to just answer her question where she said about sometimes can we take things too seriously. And I think I agree with him. I do feel like sometimes we can, only because sometimes as black people in the UK, because a lot of us do face a lot each day. Sometimes just being black can be quite exhausting. So I do think sometimes, you know, just take a little bit of a chill pill, but it can be difficult because you're always having to always be on 10. But there are some jokes from some comedians that I do find funny, and maybe another black person wouldn't. But for me, it's not everyday activist, it's not everyday outrage. So yeah, sometimes you want to press pause and just relax and just take the joke for what it is. But I don't want to ignore the fact that a lot of these jokes do stem from a very dark place, and it's important to acknowledge that.
All right. Thank you. So let's start off with Griff because he's got to go back to the show. Griff, say your socials and whatnot, and thank you for coming on. I know you're very busy right now, so thanks a lot. Say your socials and then go back to your business.
Cool, no problem. Yeah, so it's Griff the Joker, and it's Darryl Griff on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm not sure who I've been speaking to today, but if they do want to talk to me, if they have their own podcast or whatever, then I'm more than happy to have the conversation face to face, and we can try and work this out. So yeah,
listen, you come onto our podcast, yeah?
I've got to come back. I've got to come back for the third time, innit? You can have us both on if the other person's on the phone. Have us both on your podcast. We do it that way, either way. But yeah, I'd like to have a conversation in person. That'd be good.
All right, thank you. Okay, sincerely, Tops, thank you so much for coming on. Would you like to share your stuff with the masses?
So my personal page is Sincerely Tops, and then my show is Black Canvas on YouTube.
Subscribe,
Black Canvas, BLVCK Canvas.
All right, so thank you both of you for taking time out of your Sunday evening to share with us. You can go now.
Okay, cheers.
Thank you very much. Yeah. See you later.
Cheers, man. Nice one. Bye.
Please.
That was lovely.
All right.
I love a good discussion on a Sunday afternoon.
Why were you holding in your laughter?
I don't know. I actually forgot where I was. I forgot where I was and what I was doing.
All right.
That's beautiful. Big up you guys for joining in that conversation for us.
Yeah, that was nice, man. I like that.
Yeah, okay. All right. So that's that then, because we've run out of time.
Gaza.
For real.
Yeah. There's so much other stuff to talk about, but we're going to have to leave that for another time.
Yeah, man.
So let's do our socials and our church notes and then get out of here. So let's start off with who's ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go on.
Okay.
One of you.
You want to go first?
You can catch me.
You're the older one. Go on first.
Yeah, you can catch me on Instagram on AKA Mr. Wolf, on Twitter on AKA _Mr. Wolf. I will recommend one thing actually is I'm watching something called A Contender. So anybody out there that is a boxing fan, back in the day there was a Contender show that was hosted by Sylvester Stallone and Sugar Ray Leonard. This time it's hosted by Andre Ward. Try catch it on ITV Hub because they've done about 5 episodes. I think you can find the winner online, but I'm obviously not going to do that. But it is so good. This is real reality TV.
Yeah.
Not any of that nonsense that people be watching these days. You watch it?
I watched a few clips because I usually watch UFC. Tough Enough. No, Tough Enough is WWE. Sorry.
The UFC version of The Contender.
Ground and pound.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that in a second.
It's very good. A very good show. So if you can, Contender ITV Hub is an amazing show.
Okay, so I'm going next. So at Big Wahala on Insta, at Big Wahala on Twitter. I actually wanted to talk about it, but we don't have enough time. But I do want to big up the ladies of the WWE.
Oh yeah,
who are actually
divas.
Yeah, well, they're not divas. These are not divas.
Okay,
divas are a completely different set. Because the divas are the ones that were doing all of the lingerie and all of them things there. These are not. These are the proper hardcore. We are wrestlers. We are not divas type. Yeah, and they are actually going to be main event in WrestleMania, which will come out. It'll be out by the time this comes out. And for if people that have been watching WWE for years, that is a massive deal.
Yeah,
massive. That these three women. So it's Ronda Rousey. What's her name? Charlotte Flair and they call her the man. I forget her name.
The Irish one.
Yeah, the Irish one.
They call her the man.
She calls herself the man.
Look at me, I didn't say nothing.
Okay, hold on. Let me find her name.
The Irish one who's just beating up everyone now.
Can you just hold on a second?
I'm trying to find the person's name.
Okay, then. In the meantime, then Simple Simon.
Yeah, at Simple Simon. Go on.
It's Becky Lynch. Yeah. Becky Lynch is the last person. I'm surprised.
Say your thing then.
But yeah, so I don't want to get into a big conversation about it. I just want to say, like, it's for that to happen. It's a massive deal. I think last year, they had their first woman-only actual pay-per-view, which was big already. Evolution, they called it. I think it was, which is a massive deal. But now the fact that they are hosting WrestleMania and people that know wrestling know WrestleMania is the biggest deal. It's like the second biggest watch thing apart from Super Bowl.
They're hosting or they're the main event?
They're the main event.
The women's are the main event.
They're the main event.
The three of them are fighting together?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're the main event. And obviously you've got your men's championships that's happening both sides because they split them. They've got Raw and they've got SmackDown, which are the two different shows that they have. So they've got a champion for Raw and they've got a champion for SmackDown. And both of those champions are going to be at WrestleMania defending their belts. So, they're not they're the B and C of the wrestling thing. A is the women's championship.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, considering UFC have been doing female headliners for a while, and it's been some of their best and biggest pay-per-views. Really.
Okay.
So remember, Ronda comes from UFC, so she's WWE now. She's selling out a lot. She's doing really well.
Hazelann, are you into anime and MMA and WWF? Are you into football as well?
I am.
Seriously? So you're hold on. You have a tattoo of what?
Liverpool.
Oh my! Sorry, and I said, it can't be that. I actually saw it. I thought it was some form of maybe a.
This is why we need to turn the TV.
Oh my god!
So are you a tomboy then?
No,
I don't know. Do you know what? My boyfriend really likes it. He likes the fact that we can, because he's an Arsenal fan, and I'm into everything more than him, and he's just like, he loves it.
What are you doing with that tattoo? What are you doing?
My wife is I'm an Arsenal fan and she's a Liverpool supporter as well.
There you go.
It's a mad thing, isn't it?
Oh my god!
I guess
and I suppose it depends on how deep you are, because it's only going to really have. We're only really going to have a problem when we have kids, because they're not gooners.
They take the man's side. Where's he from? What's his ethnic background?
He's Jamaican.
So we didn't mention yours. You're half Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
1
quarter Irish and quarter Nigerian.
Yeah, so
but she's got Liverpool in her blood, man. That's wrong.
Where did Liverpool support come from?
Do you know what? Growing up in the 80s,
in the
80s, especially back in Stonebridge, everyone in Stonebridge is a Liverpool fan.
Johnny Barnes.
But yeah, most definitely.
It's all about Johnny Barnes.
And I remember when I was 7 having the biggest crush on John Barnes in the little shorts and everything. He's alright. It's not too bad for an older guy.
Have you heard him talk?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah, well, boy, I'm surprised.
So you condone the coonery?
What do you mean the coonery? He is what he is at the end of the day. He's not my dad. He's not my husband.
My name is my name.
Big up man like Raheem Sterling anyway. Big up man like Raheem. That's the new face of the black footballers in the UK. Big him up, man.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people who've done, Cyril Regis was doing things from...
Yeah. But he was never a Liverpool player.
No, he was West Brom.
Yeah, he was. No, but I'm just talking about black players in the UK, At the end of the day, especially when they retire, my cousin was a professional footballer and I worked as a sports journalist when I first started. So when you retire as a black footballer, you just all come together. It's not about divisions and who played with what and team, what have you. Because they're all giving back to their community. They're all doing different things, and that's what really makes a difference. And they all had to go through the racism and the hardship, especially when you talk to the older ones. Do you know what I mean?
Just going off that as well, obviously we're just talking about the female wrestlers. Also, somebody else I want to pick up is Alex Scott. Alex Scott's doing bits at the moment. I saw her on BBC One yesterday on Match of the Day.
Yeah,
and I saw her
she
today
was.
on shamefully, because obviously we lost the game, the Everton and Arsenal match today. She was doing the punditry on that as well. And I was saying it to my missus. I said, this is important. She goes, but you see all people like Kirsten Gallagher and all them people that's on Sky Sports News. I said, no. They are news anchors. They're just supporting news. She is a pundit. She is discussing the football. She's discussing all of this, that, and the other.
A pundit.
You know what they call her?
Pundit.
Oh, whatever, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? Can't just say something wrong and just let me go past it. Can't you just let me carry on? Like every single thing you have to correct me.
Listen, my friends, my brethren, my brother. Can't you just let me be wrong and continue to be wrong in life?
Yes.
Why
Let
would
me
you
die this way, damn it.
Why would you ever correct him?
Pundit, I said.
Anyway, she's been doing bits for a while.
Yeah,
to be
she has.
fair.
She has.
From not the last Women's World Cup, the
One
Women's
before.
World Cup before.
Yeah. She started off.
They were all doing really, really well in terms, because that was when BBC Three was doing a whole load with women's football, isn't it? And she's been doing it.
I like her punditry though.
Yeah, she's good.
Do you watch women's football?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Good.
just checking.
And
Just
Enya
making
Luko
sure that
make her
women-
way up there soon as well. She started to try, but they haven't pushed her as much as Alex Scott. But Alex Scott is really good.
Yeah, she's
Like,
doing
really
all right. I see a lot of hate for her on
Because she's fine.
on
Graham Souness
and
even
because
don't like.
because she's a woman as
Yeah.
well. Even one of my friends, she's a female,
A woman of colour.
female journalist and stuff. And in that industry, there's hardly any women, especially when it comes to journalists, and let alone a black woman. And she just gets so much hate.
But she's good.
All the time. She is very good.
Very good.
My friend, not Alex Jones, but my friend who's a journalist.
Okay.
But she's good too. But, yeah.
All right, so I'm done.
All right, Simple Simon.
At Simple Simon FB on Twitter. I don't have Instagrams. I ain't got no recommendations or shout outs. I've done my little catch up on The Walking Dead. Jesus Christ, it's dramatic over there.
Ooh, well, soon winter's coming, isn't it?
You know, like that.
You know?
And you're a Game of Thrones fan as well. So you're just a proper tomboy, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
In fact, Game of Thrones is it's not us.
That's
It's not a gender thing, is it?
Exactly.
At all? Sorry, my bad. My bad.
Misogynoir.
All right. I am Stavros Spurs captain. Oh, not there you go, man. It was a mistake. That's all it was. Not misogynoir. How dare you?
So me as well.
No, you just
He said it.
switched roles.
Oh, okay.
I am Stavros Bus. You can catch me at Stavros Bus everywhere. Stavros says this week is a Fire in the Booth. It's a couple of weeks old actually, so I should have done this last week really. But it's by The Kingdom, which is Ty, Rodney P, and Black Twine.
Yes. Big up the elders.
Yeah,
Them.
the elder community. Yes, father. Yes, ruled by.
Big up
Yes,
the
yes.
elders, man.
So a friend of the podcast, Ty, he was in about a year ago nearly. So you can listen to his old episode. We had a special bonus episode where we just did an interview as well with him. And the three of them have come together to create like a UK supergroup of elder statesmen.
Statesman.
And
It's
from
all
Sat as
stuff,
well.
yeah.
All from Sat.
Are they all from South?
Yeah, I think they're all
Is Black Twang from South?
Yeah.
Is he not from West?
I
Like
think
North
he's-
Wheezy?
I think
Is he not
he's
from her side?
I think he's from South.
Okay, well, anyways. So anyway, they've some of you listening may not know who Ty, Black Twang, and Rodney P are.
So Rodney P.
Yeah, some of you may not know, but they're rappers they're rappers, and they've collected together. They've made a super group, as far as I'm concerned, and they've been touring. I think their album will be coming out soon. They haven't released the album yet, but I believe they're coming out with an EP or album. But anyway, they did a Fire in the Booth. I'm just gonna play a little bit of it here because a Black Twang murked it. He murked it. It was wicked. So hopefully this takes place because it is.
Legendary. Fire in the booth. Fire in the booth. Bounce. Anti-Charlie stuff, you done the beats from Music Family. Come on! It's the Kingdom, Tony Rotten, Black Twang. Let's go. I know they're like, rah, how's man getting ratings? How's man still on all these stations? How's man span 2 generations? Fans still know all the words, verbatim. What's the secret? Who's his agent? How's man still fire like Cajun? Fire like Raiden, fireman Caperton. Fire in the booth, fire off the pavement. I've been fire since the basement. Been fire since back in the days when Westwood tried flex in Deptford. And his decks got dashed in wavelengths. Back when Santander was Abinash. Man was grabbing cash from the Halifax. Punks jump up and got beat down. Record a brand Nubian Abbey slap. Rude boy, youth, them a rally back. With a big whack going rat-a-tat. No long talk, no beggar chat. We had to earn stripes like Adidas. Facts. London Posse came with ragga rap. And UK rap followed all of that. Come on, you man can't be mad at that. Salute the general, I got fun of that. Perfect. I got love for the old school and new school. I hope that the feeling is mutual. Don't let the mainstream media fool you. Listen, OGs from the true school. They wanna divide you and rule you. That's never business as usual. Boy, don't backchat, you're too rude. You're only viewed as bad man on YouTube. Hey, at this age, how's man still getting ratings? The old boys all over the country. So you're gonna end the conversation. You're gonna hear all about the kingdom. Back home, the United Nations. And the only time you see me with the pigs them is when I'm bringing all my bacon.
Hey! And you know what? To be real, out of the three of them, I wouldn't have expected Black Twang to murk it the way he did. And he really, he murked that freestyle. There are another two verses. You heard Ty and Rodney P. Go on YouTube, Fire in the Booth, or on Apple Music. Listen to the thing there. I will say it has picked up a bit of controversy because when Rodney P gets on the mic, he sends flames towards West, because you people scrunched up when this one mentioned Westwood. But Rodney P, I think basically he was a bit more blunt with it. And so it's like people are just talking about this is the Fire in the Booth where Westwood is getting cussed.
Yeah, but you know why that's happening, isn't it?
Go on.
There was an interview with Westwood and Giggs, and Westwood asked him about his biggest influences, and he said Rodney P. And then Westwood said, "Well, why Rodney P? I felt like he kind of dropped off. He was a bit dead, whatever."
When's this?
I'll send you the link for it.
Okay.
He disrespected him differently, and even Giggs was like, "Nah, Rodney P is the dad."
Because I've always rapped, you know, no one's here, but obviously it's UK, you know, no one's like, because I used to think, wow, like, where does my music fit in? Like, it don't sound like East Coast rap, don't sound like West, don't sound like South, but where does our...
And didn't sound like UK, like that early UK rap.
Yeah, but that early UK rap, that was like proper hip hop though, innit? Like, you know, no one's like, do you know what I mean?
Like old school, but it was also quite garbage as well, to be quite honest, you know what I mean?
That's couple hard, man.
Like who?
Rodney P was hard. I liked him. He rapped English as well, like the way he speaks, like, you know, the man them just say, you know, that one's like.
I always felt he had a plum in his mouth.
I don't think it's just that. Obviously, there's a history of it. If you listen to our Thai interview, you will hear discussions about that as well. So you can go back and go back in the list. I can't remember what number it is, but it's a whole different color from the rest. It's a special bonus episode, and we discuss Westwood with Thai. So it's a long-standing
thing.
Yeah, a long-standing thing. But anyway, that's my recommendation for this week. So our wonderful, illustrious, beautiful, and stupendous guest, Hazelann.
That's lovely of you. Thank you.
Listen,
you're just all right. After you don't support Liverpool, maybe give you any of that props now, man.
No problem.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, okay then. I'll take that.
Would you like to give us your socials and any church notes, anything you want to promote?
Yeah, do you know what? Don't worry about my socials because I don't even know them.
Okay, fair enough.
But if you do fancy taking up meditation, don't take up medication. Meditation. There's this channel called Boho Beautiful, and they do short guided meditations. So
I'm just glad you messed up the suit, because now that completely set, everybody's messed up.
So short guided meditations on whether you're feeling stressed or whether you want to relax, or whatever you're feeling for that day. If you've not tried meditation before and you want to try and take a step out and just want to regroup and feel kind of mental healthy, then give her a go. It's called Boho Beautiful. That's who I
on YouTube
like to watch. Yeah, on YouTube.
All right,
that's my only thing.
So you're bigging up somebody else.
Yeah,
not your own things.
No.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, and big up ESN.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Plug.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you can catch us at ESN Podcast on all your social medias. Use the hashtag ESN Pod to join in the conversation. I think this one really is about this Jamaica versus Africa thing. Or I would like to say the Caribbean versus Africa at least, because I don't see how one small island, insignificant... I'm only joking.
Because we're broader than Broadway.
I know Jamaica is probably, in the whole wide world, in terms of culture, probably Jamaica is the biggest culture influencer.
Broader than Broadway.
Outside of the UK.
I was about to say, because England is...
exactly, obviously. But in terms of language and everything. But Jamaica's there. So, but it's one country opposing a whole continent, not country, not bigger country, the continent, of Africa.
Because we're broader than Broadway.
So, anyways.
That's what broad.
You can't even go to the show anyway. Just confuse yourself.
Yeah, I don't know which side I'm defending. So, anyways, hashtag ESN Pod. Join in the conversation. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Holler at Hazelann. Find her on social media somewhere. She'll be there. She'll respond eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
If you find me.
Her socials will be on. Well, do you want me to add your socials on the show notes? Because I do that with everyone else.
Do you have them?
I got I definitely got your Twitter because that's how I've been contacting you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
Okay, cool.
I'm not
Did you get in touch with Courtney? No, you didn't.
Well, this is not a conversation for people that they don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Go on.
All right. One quick thing though before I go, because because I forgot to remind you, I was on Off the Cuff last week.
Oh yeah.
So Off the Cuff that you can get from now to whatever Thursday,
whenever, innit?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I don't know what episode number it is, but I was with Off the Cuff boys on their show. Big them up for having me. It was a good show, man. Longer than expected. I thought we were gonna get kicked out. We didn't get kicked out, boys. We had a good long chat there.
Yeah, that's the longest show, man.
I see some good feedback too as well. So it's nice to have their feedback from their crowd as well. So
good on this conversation, isn't it?
It never hurt anyone.
Episode 178. The marathon continues.
Yeah.
Off the Cuff Pod. He left. He didn't tell us, man, he was going. He just left.
I told you I was going the day before.
The day before, he said, "Yeah, I'm going on Off the Cuff. I'm just going on their pod, innit?"
Yeah.
Okay.
So
man's trying to leave. He says he's the Bobby Brown of the crew. He's trying to leave us.
Yeah, Mr. Ralph Church.
Nobody wants to be the Bobby Brown of anything.
I do, man. I want to cook that cocaine chicken. That's how.
Oh no!
Deal with him. That's my chew, you know. Yeah. That's my favorite video of all time.
It's murder. Sorry. Big up the Off the Cuff buds, guys. Yeah, we picked you up last week. I ain't picking you up no more after you don't invite man something. Sorry. All right, one of you guys we're gonna invite on, innit? Just one of them. We'll decide which one at some point and try and break up their crew. Divide and conquer UK style. Yes, I take and think. Yes.
All right, cool.
Peace. All right, yeah, you done?
Roll it up, man.
Everyone's done?
Yes.
Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 119 of the Eloquently Say Nothing podcast. Find us everywhere. Oh, and big up Courtney.
Yeah, yes.
We
did a lot this week, you know.
Yeah, we were on Courtney's radio show.
On Top FM.
On Top FM. You can catch that on TuneIn. I'm sure you can listen. Or go to On Top FM and you can re-listen to our show. It's a Sunday morning show and we were there for a couple of hours.
Hurricane Courtney.
Chop it up with Hurricane Courtney.
Saturday morning show.
Sorry. Did I say something?
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, but yeah. So shout out Courtney. You're a bright light in our lives. And we're definitely looking forward to having you back.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Okay. Thank you. And thank you as well.
And remember, if you ain't saying nothing, say it well.
Slag for life. Was it everything you expected?
I know y'all miss my love.
Yeah. I never
Are you guys cinema outside?
You've seen the film? I've seen it already. But no, because I missed the first minutes already. I missed the first couple of minutes in the car. Huh? No, the first piece. Oh, you missed the beginning. So when I first got there. Okay, that's was the credits. That's what I saw. That's the credits by Mr. Rabbit. Let's say you just missed the best.